Wednesday. SNLF Show.
Is that me? Are we live?
We are, I think.
Goodness me. Right. What an hour it's been. Welcome to the SNLF Wednesday night show, your one-stop shop for non-league football in Sussex. From the National League through all the way down to Step 7 with the Mid-Sussex Prem and the SCFL Div 2. We're going to have you previews, reviews, reactions, maybe not transfers. No interviews tonight. We might have a little bit of a debate and everything that happens across non-league football, Sussex non-league football scene. Before we get into tonight's show, just a quick mention for this week's sponsor, which is the Dugout News. If you follow Sussex non-league football, make sure you're downloading it every week. It's completely free and packed with match reports, results, league tables, stats, fixtures, opinion pieces, stories from across Sussex non-league. You'll also find contributors from the people like the Sussex Scout. You've got Matt up in the top right-hand corner, does a little bit. Grant's slacking a little bit on that front at the moment. I've sent a few things in and they haven't made the cut. I don't know what I've done, to be honest with you, to deserve that. Plus reports and features from names across the local non-league game. A quick mention and a shout out to Brandon, who last night went to the Pagham game. Brandon Wright. He is a regular listener of ours, and his first match report will appear in Dugout News this weekend. It's great to have another person on board. Issue 3 has already been downloaded just shy of 1,400 times since Sunday, which shows you just how many people are getting behind it. It's basically your weekly catch-up on everything happening across Sussex football, all in one place. And best of all, it costs you absolutely nothing. To get this week's issue, head over to Dugout AI account on X and download it from the pinned post. And if you fancy getting involved yourself, then send Mike your match reports, thoughts, bits for the games that you've been watching. And if you've got a game and have something to say, if you've been to a game and have something to say, Dugout News is all about giving people across Sussex non-league scene a voice. So go give it a read, support the contributors, and make Dugout News part of your weekly non-league routine. Right then, on to tonight's show. I'm back this week after surviving Hawley last week. Unfortunately, though, there's still no full house. Mike was due to join us, but has pulled out about an hour ago, hence the reason it's been a nightmare hour, because he is not feeling well. And I have spoken to him on voice chat, and a video chat, actually, and he looks rough. Get well soon, mate. So that means just tonight, we've got Matt and Grant and myself. How you doing, guys?
All good, thank you.
Yeah.
And I've just to interrupt, sorry, Matt, Gaz. I've just had confirmed we have got a guest on tonight if we want him to attend.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to send him the link?
I will do, mate. Yeah. So we have got a guest, and we will announce it shortly. But we have got a guest coming on, hopefully around about 9 o'clock.
About 9 o'clock tonight. Yeah.
He's literally just WhatsApped me. Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Slacking a little bit. If you can send him the link though, that'd be great.
I will do, mate. Let me just copy that. But apart from that, yeah, I'm all good, mate. Been to games and stuff, so yeah.
I tell you what, should we announce the guest?
Can do, mate. Yeah.
Should we announce it? I'll let you do it. You've organised this one, and
I have.
Look, I'm going to tell you now. I might fanboy a little bit because I was at the last game of the season last season, and I genuinely think he might have given me a bit of a boner when he scored that goal.
Fair play, mate. Fair play.
But the thing is, though, I've probably been watching I was going to give it half away. I've probably been watching Worthing longer than he's been alive.
I'm sure you have, mate. I'm sure you have. Well, our special guest tonight is the one and only Raz Coleman de Grift, who plays for Worthing. I've managed to get Raz on the show. Raz used to play for me at East Grinstead when I did the under-21s. So I've known him since then. As you said, Gaz, he was probably a young boy then, mate. So yeah, I think he played for me when he was about 18, 19. So he's confirmed that he's coming on the show. Some of you, if you follow him on Instagram, he actually does a vlog on Worthing match days, going on the coach, what the preparation is, fitness. He does things around the ground, etc., etc. So look, Raz will be on at 9. He's a fantastic footballer. He is a fantastic bloke. He's a big supporter of the show. We've been trying to get him on, and I've been trying to get him on even all day today. And literally, he's just confirmed at 8 o'clock tonight. Even though I messaged him about 10 o'clock this morning, you're on, and he still hasn't confirmed. So yeah, it'd be good, great to have him on. So guys, if any of you have got any questions for Raz, drop them in the comments column, because obviously we've not had time to prepare anything with regard to an interview, so we can just sort of wing it as we do mostly on this show, which is fantastic. So yeah, Raz, Worthing, wing us forward, as Gaz has said, great goals. He scores some unbelievable goals, pacey player, very quick, and obviously key to what Worthing has done. So I'll be keen to understand his journey since he left humble little old East Grinstead under 23s, maybe coming up to about 10 years ago now. It's probably been that long, Gaz.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see. Let me just copy the link and send it over. You can have it.
No worries. No worries. We'll carry on. The good news is we've obviously all still been keeping busy. Mike was at Saltdean versus Lancing last night before everyone has cruelly robbed us of his company tonight. He did ask me to pass on his thanks to everyone at Saltdean for their hospitality. He was really well looked after, and it was very much appreciated. Matt was at Crowborough last night versus South Park. We'll get into that in a little bit, Matt. And I was down at Littlehampton versus Bognor. So before we start working our way through the leagues, we'll get into these games and find out what caught our eye. There was loads to get through tonight. We'll be talking Worthing, looking at everything going on at Horsham in the National League South, and getting stuck into the Isthmian Prem, and then obviously we'll work our way down to the leagues. Then it's on to obviously the Southern Combinations. Anyway, get your comments in. Any questions for Raz about last season and this season and so on, then we'll get the questions in. Right, I can breathe a little bit now. We've all been out and about this week, so we'll start going through the leagues and we'll talk about the games that we've been to as we go through. Grant, you were at a game at the weekend, weren't you? I think you'll have to remind me. Can't hear you, Grant. What you done?
That might help, mightn't it? There we go. Schoolboy error. We always do it, mate. I said, yeah, I went to Crawley down Gatwick against Forest Row, and mate, what a game it was, honestly, when we come to it, mate. It had everything. It was very, very entertaining game, I can assure you. Not the highest of quality because of the pitch, I think, but entertainment-wise was off the chart. It was to-in and throw-in, and people 2-0 up, then goals back, managers sent off, players sent off, last-minute goals. Oh, yeah, had everything. It was a brilliant, brilliant advert for SCFL football. Good.
Right, we're going to start, and we'll come back to it in a little bit. We're going to start in the National League. Results in the National League, we've only got one to look at. Worthing 1, Wealdstone 0. Worthing picked up their first victory, home victory, at step 1. Grant, how important was it for Worthing to get that first home victory on the board early?
Yeah. It's always important, whatever level you're at. Premier League, Saturday park football, Sunday pub football. You've got to get those first points on the board. It breeds confidence within the players, within the group. It breeds confidence for the supporters, breeds confidence for the board of directors, the committee members, everything. And obviously, when you get promoted and you're playing at a real high level, you know your home games are critical for you to be staying in that league. You know you've probably got to win majority of them at home. At least half, if not 3/4 of them home games. You've got to pick up points because anything you pick up on the road, it's just an added bonus and something you maybe not have planned for. So for them, obviously they've had a great start. As we said, first game of the season, going away and winning at one of the league favourites. It's fantastic. But for them now, that's it. Yeah, for them now to come and get their first home win, they should just be off and flying now. And I totally expect them to sort of build on this and maintain. Also, like I said, it gives the town a buzz, the crowd a buzz, everyone to do with it. It's just, it's a fantastic thing. And it will be. They would have felt a little bit of pressure, I'm sure. They might say they didn't, but I'm sure internally they were feeling a little bit of pressure just to get that first win. And now it's done. you know, I'm an Arsenal fan, as some of you know those. And now that Arsenal have won that league, I think this season they'll play. You know, they've been saying they'll be playing with the handbrake off. I think it'll be a little bit like Worthing. I think now they've got that first win, they can go out with a little bit of freedom and expression, and really, you know, Hinch can go out there and go, guys, look, we've proven we can win at this level. We can win away from home. We can win at home. Go out there, express yourselves, play with freedom. Get your one-on-ones, beat your individual players. I'll be thinking they'll be buzzing now off the back of it. I really do.
Yeah. Matt, is there much difference between Worthing and some of the more established National League sides, do you think? Like, I think they've had that plenty of time at National League South, had 2 or 3 seasons there. Do you think there's much difference now between them and some of... I think good result against Carlisle as well.
Well, I think in terms of the resources available to them, I think the only match that they've dropped points so far is Forest Green Rovers. And when you look at the amount of signings and the budget that Forest Green have compared to Worthing, there's definitely a difference there. But I think in terms of the level of ability and the players they have, certainly compared to some teams that you might expect to see in the bottom half of the table, I think it's very comparable. Obviously, there is a big step between step 2 and step 1, especially for teams that you expect to be like, look at like Southend, for example, Carlisle, you know, massive teams. But I think actually for the majority of the teams in that league, it is going to be pretty comparable. The ability that they have, the experiences that they have in step 2. Step 2 is so hard to get out of, so competitive.
Yeah.
In the NLS, and I'm sure the National League North as well. So, you know, to get out of there, you have to be a really bloody good team, right? To even make it out of there and get to step 1, right? So I think that any team that goes up to the National League is in with a real fighting chance, because you don't get there by chance, right? So, yeah, no, I think definitely there are some clubs that are going to outclass them in terms of resources and players that they can attract and stuff. But there's going to be a lot of teams like Wilston, which I think they'll be looking at and thinking, right, this is especially at home, a game that we should get something from.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I was just going to say off the back of that, I was going to say I think exactly that. They'll be looking at and picking it up. But for me as well, though, Gaz, I think it's a lot of it's to do with the experience. You know, a lot of these clubs in that league have been full time for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's new for Worthing. You know, how long have they been full time now? Couple of years.
Just this year, they were hybrid, I think, last season.
Well, right, there's a mixture. That's what I'm saying. So even that, Gaz. That takes getting used to for some players, which again we can ask Raz those sort of questions, which is fine. But for me, that's a real, it's a learning curve. It's experience. You know, we all know you can't go out and buy experience. You can't train on a training ground for experience. Obviously, the senior players that have played it will be able to share their experience, and Hinch will be able to, absolutely. But as a player, there's, you know, you can't learn it unless you're in it and you're doing it. And I think that's going to be a thing for them, is to learn it, is to be full time and to be, you know, like you said, luckily they had Carlisle away the first game of the season, but Carlisle away on a Tuesday night for full time players, mate. Yeah, in January, you know, -3, -4, horizontal sleet in your face. That's so that's for them. That's where the experience and the learning coming from it. And I think, you know, if you look at it now, I think they sit in 9th in the league now.
Yeah.
If you offered them that at the start of the season, mate, they would have bit your hand off. But I had them finishing around about middle 10th, 12th.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been a great start for them. They've had some tough games. It's not like they've played the teams all at the bottom of the league. And at the moment, and I think we've said it on previous shows, real leagues settle down come the end of September, October time. You get to see where people are at. You know, if you can all, you know, play teams at the bottom of the league to come in, and you can boost it, and you think, bloody hell, we're flying here. And we haven't, you know, but you haven't played any of the top 6, 8 teams yet, but they have. So I'm saying already now it's getting a reflection of where they sit, and I think it does bode well for them. I really do.
Do you think so? Their fixtures this weekend, they're away at Tamworth on Friday night, and then they're at home on Monday to Boreham Wood at 3:00. How much do you think Boreham Wood are playing Thursday night? Will that extra 24 hours give Boreham Wood that extra little bit of an advantage, do you think?
Yeah, I think it will. I think at any level, another 24 hours. You hear them moaning about it in the Premier League all the time. He's got a game Sunday. He's got a game Saturday. We're playing, you know, it massively has an effect on it. Especially with the travel. You know, Tamworth, Midlands area, you're talking probably 2.5 hours in a coach or whatever it is. But they're an experienced team. Was it Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was their gaffer for a bit, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, they had.
They've spent some money and they've had a serious outlet. So, look again, if you offered them 3 points over the bank holiday weekend, they'd probably take that.
Yeah.
I think.
Bournemouth are also at home on Thursday,
so
they've got that home advantage as well as an extra 24 hours sort of recovery.
Yeah, that's
it'd be interesting to speak to Raz about that and how do you recover, because there's going to have to be some sort of recovery plan in place when there's probably less than 48 hours between games.
Gaz, when I was at Forest Row, our midweek games always had to be played on a Monday because Free Bridges played on a Tuesday or trained on a Tuesday. So we were Saturday, Monday. And mate, even at county league football, it's hard work. So you're heavily reliant on the rotation of the squad. So, especially when we was at Bridges, we had, obviously it's 4G, it's brand new, so it is nice. But we had a couple of senior players in our squad could not play 2 games a week on 4G. Their knees, their hips, their bodies just wouldn't take it. And we were coming in. We had proper recovery sessions. We had proper recovery plans. We used to go up to the gym, use the stretching equipment. We used to use the swimming pool, the saunas. Rather than training, we had recovery sessions. So even that, and that was, that's a county league. Of course, it's nowhere near as a pro team would do, but it's tough on a quick turnaround in that league. So, and that's one thing we haven't really mentioned about Worthing is their squad depth, because obviously they're only 3 games into it. What is their squad depth like? Are 11 of those starters on Saturday going to start on Monday? I guarantee they won't. I guarantee it. So that's when you've got to really be clever and tactical about what you're going to do.
Before I'm going to just mention one thing quickly before we move on to National League South and Horsham. It would have almost guaranteed Brad Dollahan going that late, that close to the start of the season would have had a massive effect on that bunch of players, right?
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, we'll get some more from that with Raz in a bit. We'll come back to talking about Worthing. I could talk about it all day, but we'll come back to it and talk about it in a little bit.
No problem.
Right, let's move on to National League South. On Saturday, Horsham went to Braintree Town and won 2-1. Their fixtures this weekend, they're at home to Farnham Town on Saturday with a 3:00 kickoff, and then on Monday they travel potentially to Ebbsfleet.
I think that one's been cancelled.
Has it?
Yeah, I think there was a statement today that Ebbsfleet...
I did see something. I just didn't read it. It was just about as we were coming.
I think it's the next 2 at least. And I have read just before we went live that Ebbsfleet have paid up, but I reckon it's still going to be cancelled for this weekend. So probably just the Farnham game for Horsham. Probably.
Okay. Right, I'm going to come to you now, Matt. You did an article in issue 3 on Horsham.
Lots to say about Horsham. I mean, where do you start? So unbeaten, 4 games into the season. 3 of those games, I would say, are against teams that you're probably expecting to be in the lower end of the table. But even on the opening day, to go away to Torquay, who are one of the favourites for the league, and come away with a draw is impressive. So they've only conceded 2 goals in those 4 games as well, which is obviously incredibly strong. So second at the moment, and good value for it as well, right? So Farnham this weekend at home, that's another winnable fixture. Farnham, I think, are an excellent team, so well run on and off the pitch, but you'd think that, the way that they're playing right now, they'll get something out of that. And then the big one for Horsham is the 5th of September, where they play Dagenham and Redbridge, who are the team in first, at home. So I think that's going to be the real test for them, where we see what they're really made of. Because I would say right now, Horsham are exceeding expectations. I thought they were going to improve this season on last, because that's just their way. They always just seem to make these little games. Dom's been there for so long that he knows the club inside and out. But I think that the teams they played, Salisbury, Hampton, and Richmond, are in the relegation zone. Braintree are only outside the relegation zone on goal difference. It's been a kind start for them, and I think we'll really see in a couple of weeks on the 5th of September what Horsham are all about. But yeah, you can't knock the starts of the season they've had. Unbeaten, only conceded 2 goals, and one of those was away to Torquay. So yeah, really, really impressed. Can they stay in the playoffs? Who knows? Obviously, we know how tight the NLS is. It could all change. Come the end of September, they could be somewhere near the bottom, right? But they're quietly playing some very impressive stuff. There's no like big flashy, 4-5-0 results, right? They're just grinding out good results. So yeah, really impressed.
No, I agree. I didn't see Horsham last year, but they started off well last year and then obviously tailed off a little bit. It'd be interesting to see whether Dom has brought the players in to be able to manage the sort of Saturday, Tuesday, FA Trophy and everything else that goes along with playing at that level. Do you think, Grant, that Horsham are being underestimated by teams at that level?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I think they've recruited really well. They've recruited EFL players. Ashley Neasden, centre forward, he's come in and scored goals. He's already got a goal, And I generally do. I think people will massively underestimated them to their peril, I think. And as we said, they've gone around their business very, very well, very professionally, very much under the radar. I think they're a very, very solid team at that level already. They haven't been there established at that level for long. And you look at Dorking, up and down a bit, etc., etc. They've been very, very solid. And as I said, I think I'm looking at them finishing mid-table in that league. I am quite comfortably, and like you said, I think they'll win Saturday. Got Farnham Town away, which again, one they said they should win. I like the way they're going around it. The club's so well run, the ground, the facilities. It's just an excellent set up and an excellent advert for sort of Sussex football. And I think they're doing tremendously well. And yeah, your article, Matt, read it at the weekend. Yeah, it's very, very good, mate. Very good. So, I do think people underestimated them. Probably outside of Sussex. I think people were inside Sussex, including ourselves. Didn't we? We spoke about it. And we did say even them staying in the league would be good. And I thought I've personally thought they should be aiming for mid-table and stuff like that. So they've done brilliantly. Hats off to them. And yeah, I think I didn't go and see him last year, obviously managing, but I will be getting down there this year. I definitely want to go this year and see him without a doubt.
I didn't get there last year for a burger review, and I need to get there this year because
their burgers are good, mate. We played there. Their burgers are very, very good.
They are very good.
I believe, if I remember rightly, they've even got their Horsham logo on the bun.
Not from memory. I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed it. But they used to have a
brioche bun with something on it, and I was like, "Wow!" And they went, "Yeah, we've got these made."
They have a brioche bun that's got a football pattern on the top of
it. That's it. Sorry, that was it. That was it. Yeah, that was it. I thought it was their logo. No, you're right. It's got the checkered football thing on it, isn't it?
Yeah. So this weekend, obviously, we spoke to. They got Farnham and then not Ebbsfleet. Do we know if that's just given us a walkover, or I don't know how it's been working.
What happens with Ebbsfleet? I think if they get to stick around, then I think it'll all be rescheduled. But we'll see. That's very much a developing story at this very moment with Ebbsfleet.
That's a lot of games for Ebbsfleet to play in a short space of time, isn't it? Yeah. It's almost inviting the relegation on.
But it must be hard for them as a club, though. It's tough, isn't it?
Do you know what? I saw them play Worthing a few years ago, and they beat them 4-5-1. I think
they've always been a very, very good, well-run club.
Yeah, it's all just gone a little bit too wrong for them. Anyway, should we move on? Matt, I'm coming to you now. Isthmian Prem results and then fixtures, if you don't mind, my good friend.
Yeah, so we'll start with Lewis, who after a rocky start to the season are now 3 unbeaten, back-to-back wins, most recently against AFC Whiteleaf, who were really struggling to adapt to life at Step 3, it has to be said. So, Noel Fisher scoring at the weekend. I think that was his first for the club since his
I saw that. He did a nice little interview afterwards as well. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, hats off to him. Well deserved. He was the best player on the pitch when I watched them against Enfield. He was a standout in what was a very poor display. So yeah, fair play. They turned it around completely. So yeah, absolutely deserved. Couple of tough ones coming up. So they've got Aveley away and then Eastbourne Borough at home. So I think that's two of the
Two
top
of the
teams in
favourites,
the league.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's a couple of really difficult matches for them. But speaking of Eastbourne Borough, I think it's fair to say they've had a mixed start to the season, and that remains to be the case. So they're currently
Humbling.
sitting... Sorry?
A humbling start to the season, right?
Yeah, I think even us as well thought that they were, going to really be up there. But so yeah, away to Cray Wanderers at the weekend, and they lost. Despite a 93rd minute goal for Eastbourne, it wasn't enough. So it's a 2-1 loss. So yeah, again, they're in the playoffs, but only just. So they'll probably be happy enough with that, right?
Yeah.
Like Cole Shelton Athletic are untouchable right now. Literally 4 wins from 4. You can't compete with that. So I think if they can, for now, just stay in the playoffs, they'll be happy enough with that. But it's certainly perhaps not the emphatic start that we were expecting.
No.
And then if we go to a team, the other end of the table, I think we need to talk about Three Bridges and their starts of the season.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to be losing matches, but they've lost 5-1 at the weekend to Aveley. And again, Aveley, top team. But Three Bridges are right at the bottom of the table. The goal difference is the worst of any team in the league. Only -8, so it's not awful, but it is the worst. The only team with no points on the board. It's poor, but it has been a tricky start. Playing Eastbourne, Chatham, Aveley. They've played some of the big teams. But then over the weekend coming up, they've got Dulwich Hamlet and then Cole Shelton Athletic, who we've just seen at the very top. So you look at it, and it's such a competitive league. You're looking around for an easy fixture or winnable fixture. In a couple of weeks they've got St Albans and Whitehawk back to back. Maybe that's when they can start to turn things around. 2 teams that are struggling, but yeah. Do we worry about Three Bridges yet? No points.
I'm not. I'll be honest, Matt. When I looked at the start of the season for them, I did think, their first 6 fixtures were probably teams that we have all got in that top 6, if not top 8, and that is a real baptism of fire. And I think we said it before that they are a well-run team. They're very organised. They're very stable as a team. They don't chop and change players around too much. They're very stable, and the squad are very, very together. And I think that will see them through. I think the next 2 games will be critical. My only, not concern, but if you look at Jamie Crellin's interviews, they are very, and he's a very honest guy. He says it as it is. He has been ultra critical of his own team, knowing it's not good enough. So when does it come to the stage where you've been loyal to the guys that got you there, and you've got to start thinking, we need these players are maybe not quite at this level yet, and do we need to go out and recruit some players? Because that might be it already 4 games in the if it was me, it would be in the back of my mind. I'll be loyal to my players, but where is that fine line of going, well, we've made a few mistakes here, we need to maybe look at bringing some experience in at this level? And I know they haven't got a huge budget. They've never splashed the cash. They're not a club that just goes out and signs players that are on loads of money, and that they don't do that very often at Three Bridges. So I would give it sort of the 6-8 games, Matt, and I would rather have a look at them then. But yeah, it's not the start that I think they would have wanted up. They probably in their minds would have thought they would have picked up at least a win and maybe a draw or 2. But
I think
it's a big gap though, Matt, between step 4 and step 3. It really is. You look at the league already. We said it before. Three Bridges at bottom. Whiteleaf are in that bottom 4 as well. You've even got Whitehawk in the bottom 4 as well. They're very well established. So the teams that have gone up, the top bottom 4 clubs, 2 of them are the ones that got promoted last year. That proves to me it's tough. It really is.
I really do think they need to wait until sort of end of September, which we said, that's when you can really start to tell. They've got St Albans, Whitehawk, Leatherhead, Lewis, Stanway Rovers, all in the sort of 4-week period. So I think that's going to be really critical. But we've mentioned Whitehawk there.
So the other thing as well, Matt, which you said is, you look at Lewis. They got Dick's first game of the season. Everyone's doom and gloom. You win 3 games on the spin, and all of a sudden it changes massively. Yeah. And that's a good thing about the start of the season. Sometimes you just need 1 win and you feel like you're off and running. And, that's all they're going to need is that little bit of belief. And like we said, Gaz, about Worthing getting that home victory, their first home victory, what does it do for a club? But with Bridges, when they get that first victory, because there might be a little bit of in the back of their minds, God, this is a tough level. Are we good enough? Can we sustain this, etc., etc.? Once you get that first win and you start believing again, yeah, look, we are at this level. You know, that was a blip. That's what they need. They need that little bit of luck and fortune. And we've said it before a million times at every level. You know, sometimes you need a horrible win, scrappy old game that's crap standard that hits someone in the back of the head and goes in and you win 1-0 in the 91st minute. They'll take that now. I'm telling you now, if you offer that to them for Saturday, they'll bite your hand off. So I'm not concerned about them yet, because I believe, you know, what they've done there has been fantastic, and they're building something. Like I said, they've built a proper squad. They've been together for 3-4 years. Go on.
They're a proper squad that aren't used to being in a dogfight, right?
Yeah. They've been at the top of the league forever. I said it. I think I might have said it last week, and it's the same for us when I've moved clubs. You know, winning becomes a habit, losing becomes a habit, and you've got to change that very quickly if you're losing games. And it's not that, you know, I think I said it last week about people wanting to go to all the weddings because they're nice and the funerals. Three Bridges have been to 38 weddings last season. They had a great old time, and it's party carnival every Saturday. Now they're at some funerals, and that's where they've got to dig in. They've got to rely on those experienced players. They've got to get, and I think Noel Leighton he's missed a few games already this start of the season. You know, they've got to get the injured players that are experienced that they rely on. You know, that front three, I think all of them got over 25. I think 2 of them got 30 goals last year. So I think as a front three, they got nearly 90 goals. I think the forwards. So they're going to need them to start firing, and they're going to need to start, relying on some experienced heads to try and get them through what they can. So it's tough. It really is baptism of fire at that level. In you go.
With the bank holiday weekend, we could be here next week, and they could have won back-to-back games, and they're laughing, right? It can all change so quickly. So it's not.
And then we'll be going, man, what a great turnaround Bridges have done. A bit like Lewis.
Exactly. Like, you're never in doubt. Krellin, top manager. So, I think, you know, definitely not time to worry yet, but I think they'll want to start getting some points, even just a draw, like your first point on the board, just anything to show that you can, you know, you deserve to be there, which obviously they do because they smashed last season. But so White Hawk, another team with a mixed start to the season. But again, they've had some tough matches. They've played Aveley as well. I feel like all their matches have been against Sussex teams because we keep mentioning them. But they've also played White Hawk. And White Hawk then played Chatham Town last time out, who are obviously one of the few full-time clubs, I believe, in that league. So that is a really tough team to go against. Coming up, they've got Enfield Town and Burgess Hill, who we'll come on to in a moment. So 2 games, which, again, quite tough. Enfield up in second right now. Burgess Hill, I think White Hawk will be... That's at home as well. I think they'll be targeting that as, you know, that's a must-win game to...
Well, obviously Jay Levitt's old club as well, mate, so he'll be massively targeting points for that game, I can assure you. He ain't going to let that go.
That's going to be a one to watch if you can make it to that one, 100%. So, not panic time for them just yet, again, as well. At least they've got a point on the board. You know, they've got decent fixtures coming up, including Burgess Hill Town, who are doing very Burgess Hill things and just hanging around. They've got 5 points, nothing too crazy, nothing too worrying. I think that's, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it's kind of the Burgess Hill way, right? They're not going to get relegated. They're probably not going to get promoted. They're just going to have a nice, comfortable season. They haven't played Aveley yet. They're the first club that hasn't played them yet.
Dartford on Friday night, though.
Say it again.
Friday night.
That's a tough team to go against. The Darts are in decent form at the moment. Burgess Hill, they drew away at Cheshunt last time out, which they might have been hoping for more out of that. A draw against Leatherhead, who just got promoted. They might be disappointed with that. And a win against Whiteleaf, which, you know, obviously they're struggling right now. So Burgess haven't really got firing yet, but again, they're sort of where you expect them to be, right? 5 points after 4 games, that's kind of par for the course with them, but definitely not a team that I'm, you know, going to worry about whatsoever. You'd expect them to maybe be on the higher end of mid-table, so they're 14th right now. I would expect them to, you know, filter out to a little bit higher than that. So maybe a little bit disappointing in that sense. But it's early days, and I think that match against Whitehawk is going to be massive for both clubs. So yeah, definitely one to have on the radar. I think that's everyone at step 3.
I think I actually going on to Burgess Hill.
Prem.
Oh, sorry, Matt. Go on. Sorry.
No, I remembered there's other teams that aren't in the Prem. Poor Chichester, but we'll get to them.
Yeah, I was just saying. I was just going to say, for me, I think I had Burgess Hill sort of in and around the playoffs for my predictions, and the money they've invested and Gary the Gaffer there, very, very ambitious. That you're saying, Matt, they're doing very Burgess Hill things and they're mid-table-ish, and I think you're probably right in your view, but I know internally that will not be what they're aiming for. I think I said it last week. They will definitely be aiming for playoffs. They want to get out of that league. They're an ambitious club. They've got an ambitious chairman and owner. They've invested a lot of money in that club, the pitch, etc., etc. So I think they'll be happy at the moment because, like you said, they're sort of 14. Like I said, you get 2 wins and they're up there again. So, but I think at the moment if you ask them, they probably wouldn't be happy with 14th. I think they should be up. They should be 8th.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that for a moment. 100%.
But look, they're in and around, like we said, especially a bank holiday weekend where you got 2 games, and I think they say these leads can quite significantly change over the course of the weekend to cut the wins in.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. You can really see all of me.
Sorry, hold on. I don't know what's going on.
Technical difficulties. Well, I can talk us all through Chichester, who it's very easy for us to forget about them having been punted sideways into a league that involves a lot of travelling for them. But they're doing all right. 4 games, 6 points. It's been a very even league because that's enough for 9th place. Only outside the playoffs on goal difference, actually. Their last couple of matches... Oh, hello again, everyone. So their very last match was against Chippenham Town. They won 4-0. So
very good.
There's a bit of a worry there. It was a Harry Bridle hat-trick in that match as well. The match before that...
So, Matt, on the moving of the leagues and stuff, did they ask to get moved?
I don't think so. I'm sure I read that they appealed against it and were told, "Nah, you got to deal with it." I'm sure.
Do you know, Gaz?
There's someone that
I don't know. We spoke to Dabber at the end of last season, and he said it would be very difficult for them to go back to the ground, which has evaded me now. The sad incident happened with Billy Viger. They said it'd be very difficult to go to that ground. Wingate and Finchley, yeah.
Yeah, Wingate and
Finchley. So whether that had something to do, I don't know. Whether that potentially had something to do with it,
I don't know. I don't know if the FA think that far.
No, but I think emotionally they'd have a lot to there'd be a lot of emotion going back there. So, look, I don't know is the honest answer, but I know David said it'd be.
If you've got anyone from Chichester listening, drop us a message, let us know, guys, please. But it's a lot of travelling in that league, isn't it? And
you've got away days at Parkway, Taunton. Exactly. I don't see why anyone would opt for that. Right at that level, it's going to be tough. But they're doing all right. 4 games in, they're in 9th place. They've had some big wins and some big losses. I think and the big loss was away, and the big win was at home. So maybe that's the travelling coming into effect. I think their home form is going to be. I'll find out for Monday for us covering. There you go, Brandon, top lad. He'll find out for us. But maybe already we're seeing that the away form, might be what they struggle with, which I don't think would be much of a surprise. So home form probably going to be really important. They've got Hamwell Town away and Havant and Waterlooville at home, who have had a very tricky start to the season. So I think they'll be looking at that as a must-win for Chichester.
Did I see that one of Chichester's games is away a Tuesday night away at Plymouth Parkway?
Let's have a little
I might be wrong.
If it is, that's harsh, mate. That's got to be 3 hour drive at least.
Oh no, it's a Saturday. They play Plymouth away.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
In January though, probably a cold, wet January night.
No.
Didn't Plymouth Parkway play at Taunton for a little bit as well because of their pitch?
They did. I
Couple of years
don't
ago.
think they are now. They're back at Belido Park now, I believe.
God, you're a font of all knowledge, Gaz. I wouldn't have had a clue about
Mate,
that, mate.
I've been in this.
Sussex, I ain't got
I've
a
been in
clue,
this game a long time, you know.
mate. You certainly have.
So yeah,
Well,
so that's
on
good. They're doing all right.
Chichester, though, guys, are we going to mention Chichester B at all?
Well,
when
we
we get to
will when we
step
get
7,
down
we can.
there.
When
Don't
we
worry,
get to
guys.
step 7.
We are going to cover step 7 today. We don't always get the chance to, but
No, we're going to
today.
cover it.
There's
We should.
plenty to say on them. So I think that's step 3 all covered. And so on to step 4 we go, where there is plenty to talk about, including the game that I was at last night.
Yeah,
So
you guys chat. I really need to go for a wee. I didn't prepare very easily.
Well,
That's
thank
okay.
you very much
Keep
for the
chatting.
information, mate.
That's all right.
I can talk us through.
To prove we are live, guys, and this is not recorded, we have to sky out for a wee.
We do. So yeah, I'll talk through the game.
Sorry,
I was at
Guildford
last
have just scored. It's 1-0 in that game now. Guildford
Oh, well
versus
done.
Woodley.
You've seen that from the Kazi, Gaz. Well done.
Nah, it's on my phone. I get notifications. See, Crawley Down Gatwick tag us in their
They do.
in their tweets, so I see all the notifications for them. Anyway, carry on.
Cheers, mate.
So yeah, I was at Crowborough last night. They're playing South Park Reigate at home. It was, and I'm sorry for any Crowborough people watching this. Crowborough is the team that I support, right? So I'm going into this unbiased, and just it was one of the worst performances I've seen Crowborough put in, and I've seen them lose way heavier scorelines, right? But in terms of the lack of composure, definitely the lack of sort of grit and determination, it felt like every time they got the ball, the plan was just to hoof it as far as they could up the pitch. The few times that they actually played some balls along the floor, they got in and they had chances, and they could have been ahead at times. But the first half was
that's very
even.
unmugsy, though. That Matt
It is, and I don't know.
Has he got injuries? Is there?
Yeah, there were a couple of players missing that I thought could have maybe changed things. Brady Ayula was missing, and I think they could have really done with his physical presence last night.
Yeah.
If they are going to be pinging balls forward, you need someone to hold it up, and that's not what Rushy does, right? He's pacey, he can finish, but I wouldn't say he's super physical, hold up the ball sort of guy. So it didn't really feel like they were playing to their strengths very much, but I don't know if that's because injuries as to why a couple of players weren't there, or just, other commitments or what. But it wasn't the Crowborough that I know. And I'm sure Muggsy, he was critical of them when they won in the FA Cup, saying it wasn't good enough. So I can only imagine what he thought about last night's match. So
Yeah.
I think some things need to change. I think they've got lucky in some of the other fixtures, and that's in his own words as well. Muggsy himself saying as much, right, that they've not played well and they've managed to get results. But last night, they only lost 2-0, so it's not the end of the world. But when you look at, like, in the second half especially, like, what did they really create? They were down to 9 men by the time the match was done. I don't want to slag off refs because it's not the way of it. The first red was definitely a red. The second red, I'm not really sure what happened, because Rushy was the one that got tackled, won the free kick. 2 yellows were given out to South Park players, and then Rushy got a red. So, yeah, I was there. I was watching it. I couldn't really tell you what the red card was for. So, yeah, they finished the game with 9 men.
Did he not do anything? Would it have been dissent?
It looked like it. He might have said something.
Yeah, it must have been. If he's not done
I
anything,
didn't see him. I was obviously looking. I didn't see him lash out, but he might well have said something.
I was going to say, because if it isn't, if you can't see a lash out or a push, or it's got to be dissent, isn't it? And if that is dissent,
I think
at that level, that's poor.
That, like, it's very difficult to be a referee. I couldn't do it, right, but I think maybe there was some frustration from the Crowborough players that things hadn't gone their way that maybe should have. So I think maybe he said something. I'll be happy with the FA Cup progress. Oh, honestly, not only did they go through the FA Cup, but they've actually been drawn at home as well. To AFC Whiteleaf, who pummeled them 11-0 on aggregate last season, but it's a good time to play Whiteleaf as they are out of form. So we'll see.
The other thing as well, mate, you're saying about 2 players also getting sent off. If they are struggling with a bit of injuries, that's another 2 players.
Yeah, and it was one of them was Rushy, right?
Because if it's a straight red, it'll be 3 games.
Yeah, so both of them were straight reds, I believe. Yeah. One was last man, and that one was fair enough, right? Like it just was. He took him out, maybe prevented a goal. it was definitely denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. So, and yeah, the other one, I believe, was a straight red as well. So yeah, that will be difficult.
Yeah.
But I love Crowborough, and I say this with love, and I'm sure that if Muggsy was here, he'd say the same. That was poor last night. It's not what they're about. I think it's still only a couple games into the season. That was their third league game. Yeah, they lost to Margate, beat Stenning, lost last night. So there's still a lot of gelling to do, but it is a lot of players that were there last season. So I'm not sure how much you can use that excuse. But yeah, I think they just need to calm things down a little bit and get back to basics and start playing football. Right, because when they did try and make those passes, they had their chances. But if you're going to hoof it up the pitch, you need a different person up top. Right, it's not going to work with who they had. So yeah, it was a frustrating watch, definitely. But again, that comes from a place of love because I really want to see them do well.
Look, I said, I've said it before. I'm a big fan of Muggsy's. I've shared opposite dugouts with him on numerous games. And he's always a gentleman. We get on great as well off the pitch. We've traded a few players over the years, etc. I've got a lot of time for him. And I know, what did he do last year? I think my interview is his 500th game in charge of Crowborough. He will be hurting as much as anyone at that club, I'm telling you, if it's not going right for him. So he will be determined to make sure that doesn't happen again. And he's putting things right, whether that's getting a few new players in. And he's always got players at hand. That's what always amazes me about Crowborough. They never sign any superstars. They get players you've never heard of. I don't know where he gets them from, and they always do well, and they always go on to bigger and better things. And that's always a great sign of a good coach and a good manager.
They're in a good location, though, aren't they? They're in a good location. You realistically, when you've got Tunbridge Wells not far from there, but you go the other way, there's not really. I suppose you've got East Grinstead sort of.
Well, you've even got Upfield like 10 minutes down the road, who they could definitely have, pilfered a few from. But he does like to keep it local. I'm sure last season said that like 13 of the 15 core squad were local, to Crowborough. So yeah, it was a shame, but it's no alarm bells or anything. They've already got a win on the board. They're through to the first qualifying round of the FA Cup. So definitely not panic stations, but he as you say, he will be as annoyed as anyone else at the way that
he will, mate. He will. But and the other thing, I think you said though, Matt, they only lost 2-0. You look at I say it, but Peacehaven obviously last night got done 5-0. Is that alarm bells ringing? But like I say, they're not getting dicked every week.
No, 100%. And then they've got Ashford United in the FA Trophy at home, which tricky, but you could win that at home. Yeah. And then away to a team that we will discuss in a moment, a very in-form Hastings United. That is not a fixture that you would want to play right now, I think, away at Hastings, the way that they're playing. And maybe we come to Hastings, who are sitting top of the league right now. 3 out of 3 wins, including, again, against Croydon Athletic, you'd expect to be right up there. Eastbourne Town, who are going to be sort of in and around the top half at least. And then an away win at Ashford 3-1. They're on fire, aren't they?
They really are. Considering the season they had last year, and I know another presenter from the IBB10 show will be saying it's all.
We don't discuss that show over here.
Since he's gone over there to Hastings, they're top of the league now, and they nearly stay. No, look, hats off to them, Matt. Like you said, none of us had Hastings up there in our predictions at the top of the league. I think the highest was mid-table. And hats off, you've got to give credit where it's due, because there are some big hitters in that league with some big budgets, with some big history in Sussex football that are, doing well. And Hastings are, look, again, we said about Bridges, it's only 3-4 games in, it's the same for Hastings, even though they have had, played 3-1, you can't ask for better than that. And you can beat who you got in front of that. They haven't played all the teams at the bottom. So, no, hats off and credit where it's due, mate. They've done a brilliant 100%. Job. Really
they've got Hendon at home in the first qualifying round of the FA Trophy. That'll be tricky because Hendon, I think, are in good form right now. And then, of course, they're playing Crowborough at home, and I think Hastings will fancy that. There was no love lost between them last season. I saw Hastings play a couple of times against Crowborough, and they were feisty affairs. So, yeah, absolutely, they deserve to be up there. No doubt about that whatsoever. Eastbourne Town
5-0.
Well, yeah, they played against one of our other Sussex friends last night, so we can definitely discuss that one. A bit of a pasting of Peacehaven, who had maybe they hadn't quite recovered from being 3-0 up against Merstham and going on to draw. So to then lose the next game 5-0, that's a real blow to morale, right?
And if you look at the minutes of the goals, Matt, as well, it was 1-0.
Yes.
It was 1-0 at half time, so they were right in that game. For them sort of let in 4 goals in the last sort of half an hour. Is that going away from home midweek? Is it a bit of fatigue from the weekend? You know.
Sorry, Grant, you can't really call it away from home, can you? It's 20 minutes up the road.
Still away from home, mate.
Come on. Most of them probably live in Eastbourne anyway, or Seaford. It's even closer.
Gaz, I'm clutching at straws. I'm trying to help them out.
Yeah. No, it's tough for them, right? Because that's a couple of matches in a row now that have been disappointing, to say the least.
They're still mid-table.
Well, that's what I was about to say. But they're in a great position of 10th right now. Only -1 on the goal difference even after last night. After their very interesting starts to the season. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because losing 5-0 is never good. No team's ever going to want to lose 5-0. But Eastbourne Town are a team you're expecting to be up there. They've got a chance for revenge against Merstham in the FA Trophy on Saturday. So I think they'll be really up for that one after how things went the other night. And then they've got Broadbridge Heath away, which I think that'll be probably quite
not
an
easy game either, though.
No,
that's away. Yes, that's away as well. So yeah, a tricky weekend coming up, but they'll probably, obviously, they're not going to be happy with the manner of some of the results. But to be 10th after 3 games, 4 points, first season after promotion, only -1 goal difference, they're probably happy with that.
Well, I'm sure they'd rather that than be in Stenning's place that still haven't got a point.
Yes, well, we can definitely talk about them because, yes, they are having a bad time of it right now. Poor Stenning.
I think I called them to struggle. I think I said, and I'm quite happy to be proven wrong about Brannan, but it's a big job for your first sort of senior management role to go into Stenning, who was so good last year.
Yeah.
Without really any, I'm not going to say adult experience, but any sort of like full senior football experience.
No, but it is. Yes, it is no adult experience. There's no beating about the bush. You can be great as a manager at academies, under 18s, etc., but there is a big step up to it. And I've known loads of amazing, brilliant coaches of kids football, under 18s football, under 21s football that then go into men's football and struggle. There's a different way of communicating to men, especially senior. You've got some senior players, 30 years old plus 35, that have been a lot higher. They're different to manage than an 18-year-old kid. They really are. And I'm not saying he's struggling with that, because I don't know Brannan at all. I've seen him in a dugout. I don't know him, so I can't say that. But all I want to say is that there is a big difference between coaching academy football, under 18 football, under 23s football, and men, especially in the Isthmian League, even in the Prem, the county Prem. That's tough. And going up a level to step 4, it's even tougher. So, it's
a whole new side. When you look at the side of the Stenning team this season versus
a massive change. Yeah, I was looking at that. What is it? 7 or 8 different starting 11 names.
Yeah, and you've obviously got Adam, who was at Horsham YM last year. You've got Harvey Woolard, who was obviously at Three Bridges last year.
Yeah, but on the bench all the season. But he's a great player, Harvey.
Conrad Honore, who's obviously been around a little bit. It's a whole new side. Obviously, you've got James Rance in there as well, who has got a lot of experience playing at that level and so on. But I think it might be a step too far. And then to top it off, their game on Monday is away to Eastbourne Town.
Yeah, I was going to say that is not a team you want to be playing right now when they've just battered Peacehaven 5-0. So, yeah, not alarm bells yet, because, one win takes you out of the relegation zone. They're not last, at least. No. There is Hawley Town, who are doing even worse. So, yeah, look, there's a lot of football still to be played. And when I watched them at Crowbury the other night, they were right. I would say they deserved a draw on the balance. So, I think it's going to be a tough season. You can't lose your manager and your top goal scorers on half your team and not expect to struggle at the start of the season. So it's just how they come back from it. But it's 3 games into the league, so you know.
But on that as well, though, guys, we said before about the Isthmian Prem. If you look at that league, you look at the bottom of that league, Hawley got promoted 0 points, Stenning got promoted 0 points. Then obviously you got Whitstable. I know they're sort of 5th from bottom, but they got promoted last year and they took their 3 points in. My point is that it's a tough league to go into without any sort of experience at that level. I know Stenning they've had a year or 2 up there, didn't they, and got relegated out of it. Hawley haven't, and Whitstable haven't. So it's a tough league. Again, like I said, some of the budgets in that league that you hear flouting around, how true they are, you never know because they're budgets. But you hear Faversham of 5-6 grand a week, Herne Bay 4 grand a week. You're hearing all this. Whether it's true or not, no idea. But some of the budget,
take it with a pinch of salt, don't we?
Absolutely, we do. I know they got a lot of money in there, but and that league, it's a tough bit. There is quite a bit of travelling as well for some of these clubs now. You've got Deal Town and you've got Margate in there away, and especially for teams like Stenning, that's a long old way, for them guys to go to, and it will take a bit of adapting. But it's going to be a tough season, isn't it?
So I think we've just got enough time to finish off that league with Broadbridge Heath. Don't want to forget about them. They're having quite a decent start.
Flying with their 2 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, they wouldn't go top, but they could go as high as 2nd with their game in hand, which I'm not sure when they play that. They've got Peacehaven at home on Monday, which, they'll probably be targeting that for a win. But a strong start to the season for them. Only 2 games, but, unbeaten in those 2. One of those wins against struggling Hawley Town, who they were all over them from what I've seen. So yeah, shout out to Broadbridge Heath. Not too much to talk about with the 2 games, but up there in the playoffs right now, deservedly so. They've played 2, they've not lost.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a guest on very soon.
Not yet. We can
I've just watched that, asking us to let us know when he's in.
It'll come up on my screen. Let's talk about South Central, shall we? We've got 2 teams in that league.
We have.
Who both played each other last night.
Yeah, you was there, weren't you?
Yeah, wish I wasn't.
Go on then, mate. What's your verdict?
It was not right as much as I wanted it to be, and the crowd. Don't get me wrong. 828 people there last night.
Wow.
Great crowd, massive crowd. The Bognor fans and the Littlehampton fans were stood in the same stand. So the stewards and the police there was police there last night as well. They had their work cut out. The crowd tried to make the atmosphere because the football on the pitch wasn't doing the job. It's probably the best way I could describe it. It took till the 75th minute for there to be a little bit of needle, right? And you're on mute again, mate.
Sorry, I said in a local derby, it took that long before it got a bit feisty.
Before it got a little bit feisty, and it was our good friend Dion Jarvis who was involved in that, which we kind of expect. And then from that, I turned to my mate that I went with. I went, this is going to tilt now. Either Littlehampton are going to score or Bognor are going to score. With 3 minutes, Bognor are 1-0 up. And almost like I've watched too much football, right? But up until that point, I was getting a little bit worried that I was going to see my first 0-0 draw since the 18th of March, 2023.
Wow.
I haven't seen a 0-0 since 2023.
Wow.
And I did think it was coming last night, if I'll be honest with you.
What, 3 minutes away from that yesterday?
22 minutes.
No, 22. I thought you said 3 minutes.
No, 12 minutes. 12 minutes. What am I on about?
Right.
12 minutes. And then for those last 12, 15, maybe just under 20 minutes, including additional time, it was end to end. It was a really good game. But the first 75, fuck me, I was asking for a refund, I tell you.
Was there a bit of a hangover, do you think, from Saturday? Because obviously Bognor also had a bad result on Saturday, didn't they? So
they did. They did have a bad result Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what made that game so bad. The crowd wanted it to be good. There was lots of anticipation. I don't think either team wanted to lose.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Was there
a derby like that?
Yeah. It happens sometimes, doesn't it? In a local derby, when teams have lost on the Saturday or whatever, they just don't want to lose again. Let's not lose, boys.
Yeah,
And you
and it very much gave that impression. It was I think at half time I called it a drab first half, and I think that was probably the best I could describe it.
What was the crowd like? Was there any issue within the crowd? Because there can be at Littlehampton, sort of.
No, nothing.
No,
It was,
which is good.
yeah. Other than me wanting to ram the megaphone down the person's throat that was at it, but look, that's what makes football great, right? So
It does.
it was a great crowd. Let's say 828 people there.
Very good.
I don't think either team really done enough to win it. If I'm being honest with you,
Probably 0-0 sounds like a fair old result in Gaz. By the
yeah, but then at the end, towards the end, Littlehampton hit the bar. So,
right.
And then the last kick of the game pretty much turned out to be a corner for Littlehampton, and they had 11 men inside the Bognor box.
Wow.
Or a goalkeeper went up. It was that sort of no one wanted to lose. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as one team went ahead, if that was 1-0 in the first 10, 15 minutes, it'd have been a game of the season, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
but
probably.
because it was 0-0, it was,
So was there a little burger review, Gaz?
Yeah, there was. We got time. Yeah, he's still not there.
Well, he's not in the green room yet, so I think while we're on it, we should go straight in.
Oh, the burger review. Oh, Matt doesn't want to hear my burger review.
I do. I'm just grabbing a drink.
Yeah.
And I've read the preview of it, so I'm caught up.
Yeah. Hold on, let me find it. I didn't have it ready.
Sorry, mate.
No, you did. Yeah. Littlehampton Town burger review. Are you ready?
Yes.
Unfortunately, this one struggled from the off.
Oh, like the game.
Yeah. The flour bap was an ELB for you guys that are new, an entry-level bun. Wasn't toasted, tasted stale as well. Not a great foundation for any burger. The patty seemed to be a cheaper end of the Booker range. Wasn't particularly hot when I served. One slice of standard burger cheese was melted. I'll give them that. But it was pretty basic and didn't have much. The bacon was thin, but cooked okay. No horrible stringy fat, although there was only one slice of it. There was also no option to double up. I like a bacon double cheeseburger, which means that I can balance them all and everyone gets the same sort of even keel.
Yeah.
If there was the option to double up, might have given the burger a bit more substance. And then there's the price. I paid £6 for one slice of cheese, like burger slice, or whatever you call it.
A Booker own label burger.
Booker own label burger, and it was £6. I appreciate clubs have got to make some money, and I do get that, which is why a lot of this is just a bit of fun. But it's not. I do this to try and give clubs something to work towards. I've seen clubs make a change, right?
As well, guys. You want to enhance people's experience.
Yeah. If people get a nice burger or get nice food, nice drink at a game, then they're likely. Sorry, I'm getting work messages come up in the top corner of my work laptop as we're going on, and I can't switch them off. Enhance people's experience of a game, they're going to keep coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So here's the scores. Patty, 3 out of 10.
I thought it'd be less than that, Gaz. I thought it would be less.
It was edible. Like, it filled a hole. I gave the bacon 5 out of 10 because it was cooked well. Wasn't too crispy, no stringy fat. Was just a bit thin, though. Was not going to set any world alight. Cheese, 3.5. It was melted. It was on the burger. I can't ask for much more than that. And then the bun, I gave it 2 out of 10. I'm probably being generous for that. 2 out of 10. Total of 13.5 out of 40.
Oh, that's relegation form.
The bacon was comfortably the best part of this burger, but it couldn't rescue everything else. For £6, this needed to be much better. Expensive relegation form.
Oh, there you go. Guys, look, we all work, we've all got jobs. You've got to have value for money on what you're doing, haven't you? If you're going to spend £6 on a burger, you don't mind, but you want it to blow your socks off a bit, don't you?
I'm going to see if everyone can see it.
Oh, God, yeah, that looks... Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with. I'll upload it onto social media. And as always, I will tag Littlehampton in it. I'm sure it's not going to go down very well.
It's not, but we're here to try and help them. Criticism is good.
Yeah.
I've just had a message from Raz. He said, give me 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4. That's very precise, Raz. Well,
he said 5 minutes 2 minutes ago, so I've done that myself.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Shall we, while we're waiting for him, should we just run through the step 7 stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
throw a real spanner in the works. Yeah, I can do mid-Sussex, potentially.
Oh, go on then. Yeah, you do mid-Sussex.
No, I can't. Guys. I haven't got it loaded.
I can do a bit of the
results. Here you go. On Saturday, BN Don's first team won 2-0 at home to Holland Sports. Cookfield Rangers first lost 5-3 at home to Bolcombe first. Hollington United went down 2-0 at home to Crowhurst. Lindfield won 3-0 at home to Cookfield Town. Westfield seconds drew 2-2 with Rotherfield firsts. And Uckfield went down 6-3 at home to Reigate Priory. Uckfield, a little bit of a baptism of fire. I think they thought they were going to do really well.
I think we all thought they were going to do very well. I think Tommy Haddon was a bit measured in his expectations. You know, nothing is given; everything has to be earned, and they haven't earned it yet. You know, you can't concede 6 goals in a game of football and expect to get anything out of the game, right? You know, so that's the sort of scoreline that we saw from Uckfield last season. You know, they sort of like they can score goals, but you can't concede 6 and expect anything else. So surprising for me personally, but I know that internally they knew that it was a tough league, right? And they were expecting a rocky start. But yeah, when you see 2 games, 2 losses for Uckfield, with, you know, from how it seems on the outside, a decent amount of resources for the level. Obviously, who knows the real facts and figures behind it. But I think they'll be very keen to turn that around and quick.
You think only a few years ago they were, you know, Prem, weren't they? County Prem team. So it can spiral very quickly. You know, clubs look at Allfold have been the same. It's some clubs, you know, Lancing obviously have been Isthmian League and obviously got a reprieve last year, would have been 2 leagues below that. So some of these sort of spirals are very, very hard to break. And look, we you know, as a show, we know Tommy Haddon well, and I'm sure he won't be panicking, but I'm sure he knows what he's got to do at that sort of level to get results. On a positive side, really, if you know what I mean.
And then just quickly, we'll move on to the fixtures. This weekend, you got Bolcombe first, they're playing Westfield seconds. BN Don's Saturday first team are at home to Linfield first team. Cookfield Rangers are at home to Uckfield. Cookfield Town first are at home to French's Athletic. Hollington United first are at home to Reigate Priory seconds. Crowhurst first are at home to Holland Sports first, and EMC Academy men's first are at home to Rotherfield first.
Just quickly, Crawley Down are back ahead.
Yeah, penalty, wasn't
it? Yeah, penalty, Will Harley. So they are ahead in the cup against Guildford as it stands. I don't know what the Lingfield score is. I don't know if they've been.
I haven't checked.
In the old socials, let's have a look.
Oh, we have a guest.
Oh, here we go. Forget that. Let's do it.
He's in.
We have a guest.
Get him in, guys. Get him in.
The guy that gave me probably one of the best experiences at the end of last season that I've ever had in 25 years of going to watch Worthing play. Raz Coleman, the Graft. Is that right?
Correct.
Raz, thanks for coming on. You are
it's all good.
A late call from your ex-gaffer, right?
Did I?
Me, you pleb.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm here, mate. You're not seeing me. Hi, Raz. How are you, mate?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm all good.
Thanks for coming on, mate. I did message you earlier, but you took about 7 hours to get back to me, mate.
Sorry. Do you know what it was? I went to dye my hair, so I've been out all day. Yeah, it's good to be fair.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Anyway, thanks ever so much for coming on. I think you missed at the start. Gaz, even. Well, I can hear myself echoing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So can I?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better.
practice.
That's better. Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, I said, Raz, Gaz introduced you at the start. Well, your goal last year, you said at one stage you did actually get a bit of a semi. So I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to talk through that moment first, Gaz, before we do
I think actually it was more just beer went everywhere, and I was covered in beer.
Oh, you got a
You know
semi
what?
from the beer?
Yeah, it was good. I don't drink when I go to football. Genuinely,
I
it's
don't.
not something I do. And then that game, I didn't get my ticket right until 10:20 on the morning of the game. Don't ask me how I managed it, but I did. Like it was sold out the day before.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because I think we all asked for more tickets and we just couldn't get any.
I'll be honest with you, it's one of the perks of doing this show.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with you, I put something out on Instagram, and within 20 minutes, I had a ticket.
One ticket.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Look, mate, take us back to the start. How did your football career begin? And where do you think? When did you sort of really go? Do you know what? I could do something. Yeah.
From what I can remember, it started, like my football career really started when I went to in Mitcham. And that's when it really started for me personally. Obviously, I was in academies before and stuff.
Yeah.
It really started for me when I went to Mitcham. Started off in the 23s, then I progressed to the first team.
Yeah.
And was doing well. Couple of good seasons, I think. So my first season 23s, bit of both, first team and 23s. Then my second season, I was fully first team. Then halfway through that season, a Step 2 club came with me, Hampton and Richmond. And I was at first, I didn't know like what Step 2 was at the time. I just knew one of my mates, Sadhu Khan, he was at Maidstone. I never knew what Step 2 was. Then when I went to Hampton came with me, I was like, oh, fair enough. They're like 2 leagues above. I was like, oh, fair enough. Why not? Give it a go. Then obviously I went there. My first game was against Maidstone. Funny enough. Then it was good. Hampton was good. Back then I was a bit nervous because stepping up 2 leagues, like faster pace, better players, you know what I mean? Quality is way better than Step 4 at the time. Then I went on loan to Lewis. No, so I went to Lewis on a permanent basis.
Yeah.
Then I met, obviously, Tony Russell was the manager at Lewis, and I think from there, I would say my football career probably kicked off again, like properly this time from there. So my first season at Lewis wasn't the best, wasn't great. Then after, I think the second half of the season, I did well. Then I signed a contract at Lewis and stayed there for another whole season, and like I did really well and whatnot. I had interest, and I went to Maidstone after that season. But also, I got a shout out to Tony Russell. He really built up my confidence, helped me a lot. Tony really helped me a lot and guided me. So majority, to be fair, but even where I am now is actually down to him. I got to shout him out. Went Maidstone, and Maidstone wasn't the best for me personally. I think obviously I was just so itching to go into full-time football.
Yeah.
And I think I rushed that choice. I probably should have waited, but I think I rushed that choice. I went to Maidstone, and this wasn't playing. The manager didn't play me my position, and I just couldn't do what I do. Do you know what I mean? Take the risk that I like to take and just play how I play, and it kind of just bothered me. So after that Maidstone spell, I left halfway through the season. I went to Aveley. That's when Aveley went Step 2. I went to Aveley that's when they were Step 2, and I did well. There. I actually scored a crazy goal against Maidstone that season. Scored a good goal against Maidstone that season, and we had Maidstone in the playoffs for that season, and obviously we lost to them 2-1. Then I stayed at Aveley for another season, and I left halfway through to go Hornchurch because it might sound bad, but Aveley, we had a young team, and I think we was on the verge of getting relegated, and Hornchurch came in for me, and I thought, I don't want to get relegated. But the first time Hornchurch came in for me, I rejected it, and I stayed at Aveley because I thought we had a chance of actually getting out. Then I think a couple weeks after that, I thought to myself, it's just not working, and I left. Then I had my spell at Hornchurch. Then through that Hornchurch spell, I jumped into Baller League. Started doing that when I was at Hornchurch, because Hornchurch was towards the end of the season. started doing baller league towards the end of the start doing baller league. That went well for me. Obviously, that's what obviously helped me start my YouTube, and obviously whatever other stuff I do. And that was that really. Then after that, I went on holiday and I came back and I was just like, "Ugh, can I be bothered? I think I should just drop down the league and just play baller league, join a team, and work and just, do you know what I mean? And just really like just chill because I was just getting like annoyed. I was thinking like I'm doing well and there's nothing's just coming off it at all. Then funny enough, on my way back home from London in Gatwick, I got a call from Tony. And Tony said to me, "How are you, Raz?" I'm like, "I'm good, Tony. How are you? What's up?" and stuff, whatnot. And Tony said, "I've got a full-time opportunity for you." I was like, "Oh, where?" He said, "Worthing." I said, "Well, fair enough." Because initially, sorry, so I didn't even go back. So when I left Maidstone, Worthing actually came in for me that season. So Hinch called me that season, and I rejected it because Tone. I spoke to Tone, and Tone said, if I go Worthing, like the right time to go Worthing is not now for you. If you go Worthing now, like you'll just be another player because they had so many players. They had so many good players as well at the time. Like Danny Cashman, they had so many other good players as well. And so I thought, no, let me go Aveley. And like Aveley gave me a significant pay cut to what I was on at Maidstone. I was like, oof. But Hinch offered me what I was on at Maidstone as well. And I was thinking, oh man, like what will be best here for me? I just said, Tony, what do you think will be best for me? And he said, go Aveley and make a name for yourself. Then when the time's right, you'll get that move. And here we are now. Phone call, went in with obviously Aggie when Aggie was there. Started off well. Then yeah, here we are now. Won the league.
How did you feel when Aggie left? Obviously, Aggie brought you to Worthing. How did you feel when he left? And then how quick then was it known that Hinch was coming back in? Because I'll be honest with you, I'd heard within sort of 24 hours of Aggie going that Hinch was coming back in. So how quickly?
When Aggie left, I was a bit like, obviously that's never happened to me before. Like a manager leaving halfway through the season, I was a bit like, what the hell? Like, what do we do now? Yeah. Because I've never like obviously, if a new manager comes in and they don't like you or you're not that kind of player, it's like I've kind of just set myself up here. But Aggie left and I was like, part of me was like, you know what it is, it's football. And then part of me was like, whoever comes in next, just regardless, just I got to do what I need to do in it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I found out, I was hearing rumours about Hinch coming back and stuff. But obviously I didn't know him then regardless. Obviously I just remember when we had a convo the first time. Mm. Then obviously when he came in, spoke to me, whatnot, he said that you're going to be a big part to play in the season. And I said, yeah. And I said, listen, I'm going to give him my all regardless. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, and then, yeah.
But Raz, that must have given you confidence, though, the fact that he'd already tried to sign you when you was at Maidstone, and then obviously...
Yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
I mean, in my mind, if I was you, I'd have thought, well, he obviously rates me and fancies me, otherwise he wouldn't have tried to sign me. So, yeah. But I know what you mean. Mid-season, it's hard, isn't it, when a new gaffer comes, you're debating, what do I do? And, yeah, but that's football, mate. That's from non-league football all the way up to pros, isn't it? You can't change that. You got your contract, and that's it.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, when Hinch came in, it was smooth, man. I think, like, obviously, I didn't realize obviously some of the boys knew what Hinch was like already, but I didn't know in it. But within the first couple training sessions, games, I could tell like he knows his stuff. Like he knows what he's doing. Like you can tell he's one of their managers that like people know he's the guy kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So.
I was going to ask, Raz, how has he improved your game this season and last when he came in?
So, like when he first came in, obviously you don't really know him, but I'm very much of like a pin player, and like obviously like mainly pin and stuff. But Hinch and Meany, they both like obviously I'm not sure if obviously you don't want to know this, but Meany sends us videos every day after training, patterns, and other teams as well, like pro teams, and showing us that what they do, you can do, and just basically like a guide of how to move and where to be at the right time. And it's for me personally, I think it's massively helped my game. because now I'm doing more like running in behind, only being as wide as I need to be, like not being on the touchline, and just it's like I'm getting in places where I'm more effective.
Yeah.
Getting in places where I'm more effective and where I can affect it quicker than having to do more to affect it. Like I'm doing less just because I'm in the right position to affect it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what mentally they've mentally like changed, and also like being more proactive and stuff. And just yeah, to be fair, it's more like being proactive and like just
Is
making
that
that
rather than waiting out on the wing, hugging the touchline, waiting for the ball to come to you? They're coaching you now where to run, running behind, curve a run, running off the side.
all the time, and it's effective because I got a lot of goals from it last year.
Yeah, but I think that level of coaching though, Raz, it goes up the higher you go up the leagues. Obviously,
Yeah, it's top. Like,
obviously, look,
even top.
I remember you as a 17, 18 year old. I like the way you say you didn't remember coming into East Grinstead, so thanks for that, mate. That was very helpful.
No. I actually remember coming to Grinstead. I do.
Well, yeah. How old were you then? 17, 18 when you played for me?
Probably, I was probably way young. Yeah, probably like 17, 18. I remember coming to East Grinstead. I was probably like 17, 18.
Yeah, you didn't stay long, did you? Yeah, he did. You did stay. But I always remember. You said I remember you just blistering pace, very quick, very direct. You know, scored goals. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't stay there long. But with all due respect, you were too good for us, if you don't mind me saying so. So that's why I wasn't surprised why you moved on and gone as far as you've gone in your career. But it's a bit. Yeah. I was a bit when you said I was a bit didn't know what to do in football and wanted to chill and all that lot. That for me, I found there'd be people all around Sussex non-league football like desperate to get on to play pro football, be full-time somewhere. So what, I know it's just like a phone call, but when you played for me, I say it was 100 years ago and you were a young lad, but for them, you always seem to have that drive. There's a few players that I've had that I thought, yeah, they're going to go on to be bigger and better things because of the way they are. And you were like that. It surprised me to say that you sort of were like, I didn't know what I was.
Do you know what? I got to...
You came across very focused to me, Braz.
No, I am. I'm very like, I think because it's work for me, when it's work time, it's work time.
Yeah.
And when it's time to chill, like, my days off and stuff, I don't think about football. I just chill. I probably don't even watch it. I probably just watch YouTube or something or anything. But when I'm at training, I'm training.
Yeah.
When it's match day, it's match day. Like, I'm very... Because I'm a bit delusional in it, and I always think I can always be better. Like you can't be like there's no perfection. I can always improve, and I always want to improve. And I just want to be. I want to see my. I think I'm good now, but I want to see my best version of myself and my best possible physique. Like I want to see myself at my best and see how. I just want to see how far I can go. Really. Obviously, I know I'm getting older, but like
as a coach, though, Raz, that's all you want from a player. All you want is a player to learn to want to be the best possible they can be, because that means they'll listen and they'll take on board stuff. And that's I always had that from you. Did you want to sort of tell us a little bit as well, though, Raz, then about your vlogging and your YouTube channels? Because, mate, they're fantastic, mate. What led you to do that? And is that something you want to
Initially, I wanted to start. I went to the YouTube ages. Funny enough, I made a YouTube channel years ago. Just never got around to doing it. But then when I got into the Baller League, I just thought, you know what? Like, I might as well just start. Like, obviously, I wanted to start streaming and stuff. It's a bit harder to do.
You've got the audience there, haven't you? You've got the captive audience. Yeah,
it's much easier. Obviously, the Baller League gave me this. Like, Baller League was a stepping stone. I was consistent with it for a bit, then I stopped. And I was consistent. Even last year with my vlogging, I was consistent and I stopped. But now it's like, I think it's just a part of my life. Whether we win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna vlog in it. I'm gonna do it because it's my life kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just good to like let people see, and who want to see what happens behind the scenes, how a footballer thinks after a loss, what they get up to on an off day, and just like what life is like outside of football and obviously within football. So
on that, I really respect. So Harrison put one up, didn't he? From the Forest Green game, I think. Yeah. And he was like, I didn't know whether to post it, and he was thinking it. He even said in there, I made 2 of the best saves I've ever made in my career, and then made probably the biggest mistake I've ever made in my career. And obviously that costs, and he'll openly admit, I'm sure, it cost the team at least a point on that day.
Yeah, it's just funny, like even both games, Carlisle, this Forest Green, and Wellstone. H has made some great saves. Even the Wellstone one, he made a great save.
Yeah.
Forrest Green made a great save in the first half and second half, I think. And like the Carlo one, he's made some great saves, but it's mistakes. We all make that. We're all gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes this
Human,
season.
right?
We're all human, innit? But I feel like if one thing I realized, your life is your life, and if vlogging and content is what you want to do, you might as well show the good with the bad, innit? Like, because life's not all glitter and glamour, innit? So you might as well show all the good with the bad. And that's what people want to see at the end of the day. There's probably kids that look up to him and want to see that as well. So
yeah. I was just about to say though, Raz, I've always found in it, you know, even in management and play, and you'll know, you actually learn more from the bad times than you do from the good times.
100%.
So for you as a vlogger that's, you know, doing very well, you have to post when you've lost and that you feel shit and that you're struggling with injury or you're not quite feeling it on a certain day. But if you rewind yourself to a 16, 17-year-old you, if you'd have had that then from a sort of a new pro full time to look up to and to aspire to, that's what you're looking at now. You're probably aspiring to these 11, 12, 13-year-old academy kids and showing the life of a full time footballer, even though it's, you know, when you're not in League 2 yet, but that, you know, you're giving them an insight of what to expect, what life's like.
No, of course, you have to. You can't just show them the good stuff, man. You can't because
And the club all on board with your vlogging and happy with it, or do you have to run it?
I think they're cool with it. Like I don't take it too far to the point where like I'm in a change room and I'm vlogging and stuff. But like obviously some training days, like probably tomorrow I might vlog because it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
But like some training days, I'll get one of the media team to drop the vlog, like Jude. I'll get him to vlog some of the stuff like the shooting drills or the 1v1s or whatever we do. Obviously, like the phase of play stuff, I won't get them to vlog that because that's our actual tactics and stuff. So after I get them to vlog, I don't think the gaffer minds, and I think the gaffer understands. But obviously with football, like I think as long as I'm doing my thing, I think it's alright. Even if I listen, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna have 60 great games because if I did, I wouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? So like I'm gonna have some games where I might be off form for a couple games, but those are the things that happen in life, and you still kind of got to show it in it because that's what I chose to do. So I'm not gonna not vlog because I had a bad game, and it's not that I'm not focused at all. It's just that this is my downtime. Now I'm gonna show them what it's like when you are having bad games or what it's like to.
I'll get that. I just want to ask as well, Raz, what's been the sort of transition from being a semi-pro amateur, getting well paid, to now going full time? What's been the change for you, and what's been that process like?
In terms of change, probably just my mentality, but everything else kind of remains the same. Hard work, ethic, doing your extras, like just make sure you're eating right. That's really it. It's just my mentality, really. I just feel like, and also I look at it like, it's like I said, it's my job in it. So
yeah.
When it's time to work, it's time to work. Do you know what I mean?
And how many days a week are you training?
We are in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and obviously game day on Saturday.
Yeah. And where are you living?
I'm in Croydon.
Right.
So that's Beckenham, yeah. Yes, I'm not far too early, like around 20.
Yeah.
Are you one of the guys that meets at Cobham Services on the away games?
Yeah, Cobham. But
I've seen it.
It's just easier. Because going to Worthing, you get home Worthing to Worthing late. By the time you get to Worthing, I'll be home.
Yeah.
And what's
just makes more sense to me.
Is there a plan this weekend? We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Obviously, away to Tamworth on Friday and at home on Monday.
This weekend, I think this Friday, I'm probably gonna meet at like I think there's a Beaconsfield stop. I think so. I'm probably gonna meet there. Probably got one of the boys like Ollie or someone or Rem will meet there at Beaconsfield.
Yeah.
Then obviously Monday I'm just going
home. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
I'll better message him.
It's been going so well.
Yeah. We'll see if he comes back. He might come back. What an insight, though. I didn't even get a chance to ask the question. Oh.
Maybe.
He flickered.
No, you're right there, mate. It's a really unique insight, and I think we should be really grateful for the chance to hear that from someone that's
gone.
Playing at the top level of non-league football.
Well, but like I said, Matt, there'll be thousands of 17-year-old Razzes that played, you know, like I said, for both of me at Grinstead under 23s.
Sorry, guys. Someone
he's
called me. Sorry, my bad. That's what I'm doing. Do not disturb. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. No, I'm going to get Matt in a second to ask a couple of questions. I just want to ask, what's the step level been like going from 2 to 1? Because I've heard people similar. I know Mark at Dorking really well, and he said it's almost, as a manager, it's almost like going up like a division and a half. It's not just one step. It feels like a lot bigger gap. How have you found it so far?
So initially, I was like, it's probably going to be tough, and it is tough. The Carlisle game was. I'm glad that game was the first game because that just gave me an insight to what to expect, and mentally, it changed me mentally. I think, you know what, I need to be like better than these guys, and because this that's basically a league match, isn't it? You might as well say that's a league game.
Yeah,
that's basically like a League 2 game. And I said to myself, okay, cool. Now I've seen how some of them play, I need to work on myself straight away. Like immediately, like I was saying to Dom and all the other boys out there, I need to work on myself, like immediately. I need to be somewhat like, because they were a good team. I think second half we got into it more. But now
your goal was brilliant though, Raz. You had no room to turn. You got a tight touch. There was nothing on. You got a wicked turn, and it was a great finish, mate.
No, thank you.
Top goal, that. I'm really very impressed.
Yeah, no, it was a good game, to be fair. I was glad that was the first game because it just made me realise, like, I want to improve. I need to improve.
Yeah,
I need to improve. Like,
how was it playing in front of nearly 8,500 people? Like,
do you know what's funny? I think I said this to someone else. I said, I think if that was a bit younger, maybe 2-3 years younger, I probably would have let it affect me.
Yeah.
But now I'm older. Like I said in it, I'm here for business. I just shut the crowd out. I couldn't really hear them.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear them. Like, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, just shut it down. Just literally shout out and just go on with it.
And I'm going to bring Matt in after I've asked this question. Border League, how was that? You obviously, I interviewed a few years ago, and after the first season, I interviewed Toby Bull, Mac Chisholm, and Finn Chadwick. I interviewed all three of them. We did a little special, me and Mike, the guy who's not here today, on them, and they absolutely loved it. But obviously, Sky have dropped it now, haven't they? So I don't think it's gonna. I think that's it now. I would have thought, unless someone else.
Yeah, it's a bit crap Sky dropping, to be fair, but then again, it is what it is, I guess.
It obviously wasn't making as much money as I think they thought it was. Matt, you got anything, bud?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. So you've spoken a lot about, you know, bettering yourself and improving. What do you reckon your ceiling is? Like, what's your target, your end game for where you want to be and how you want to be playing, like your level as well? And the question that's just come on screen there, I think, sort of echoes that. So ambitions for Football League. So yeah, what is the end game for you? Do you reckon?
Do you know what? I just want to see how far I can go, to be fair. Like, one of my mates, Mendy, he was at Forest Green. He got a move to Hearts the other day and played against Benfica in, like, I think it was the Champions League qualifications round.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? Anything's possible. I'm delusional, innit? So I genuinely think it just comes down to how many goals and assists I get and my performances. But I'm just... My ambition is definitely Football League, wherever it is. Whether it's League 2, League 1, Champ, whatever it is, innit? Like, I'm just going to go for it, I'll be honest. I really want to win this league. Like, I know it's going to be tough, but nothing's impossible in it. Like, I don't think anyone's here, or I'm not here to settle for mid-table or just remain in the league or playoffs. Like, I want to be the best. You know what I mean? I want to go for the highest. I want to win the league. Whether people think that's silly, or whether people think it's impossible, but never know until you go for it.
Yeah, you've got to have those ambitions, and the club has as well. Otherwise, what's the point in getting out of bed in the morning?
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what
I mean, not many people would have thought that you'd have beaten Carlisle, right? You know.
Yeah, like, it's just obviously for me personally. When I hear that stuff, it's just like, oh, you're lucky to get a point, or like, or if we told you you're going to beat Carlisle, you would have beat it. No, I don't. That stuff don't sit well with me. I don't. When people talk about it, it's like, that's you. Like, that's your beliefs. That's fine. And I'm here to win. Do you know what I mean? We're here to win. I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win. Like, whether they're going to be playoffs or they're going to be up there, I couldn't care less, to be honest. Innit? You know what I mean? I just want to win, play and win, really.
No, fair play, mate. I think one of the things we touched on earlier when we were talking about Worthing and the step from step 2 to step 1 is the travel and some of the distances that you have to go. How much does that change your preparation, especially games like Carlisle and that? Like, does it play a big factor?
Yeah, it does. It does massively. Because that Carlisle one, we went to stop off at Wigan and train, but we didn't because there was a crash. We had to do all 12 round, literally 12 round hour trip from a meet time all the way there, and it was tough. But I think now we've got that out of the way, I think every other journey will be alright. To be fair,
imagine doing that on a Tuesday night, though, mate.
Yeah, doing on a Tuesday night would be crazy. To be fair, that would be crazy.
You'll be getting back at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
That'd be crazy. But hopefully we ain't got any crazy Tuesday. But to be fair, I checked our schedule. A lot of our far games are literally within the first 2-3 months.
That's good.
Get them out of the way when the weather's not.
Happy about it.
Because you don't want to get all the way up to, like, I don't know, Gateshead, for example, and it'd be called off on a January Tuesday night and have to go up there again on a Tuesday, no?
Even. But one thing I'm glad that the last game of the season's at home. It's giving me like it could be one of them seasons again.
Yeah.
Last game of the season's at home. Worthing need 3 points to get in the playoffs. Raz from 25 yards out in the top corner. My beer will go over again.
I'm here for it. Honestly, I'm here for it.
There'd be another semi again, I think, Gaz, wouldn't there?
Yeah. It might make it all the way next time.
Might it?
Sorry. No, Raz, I don't know if you know, I've been watching Worthing since I was like 13, and I'm now, I'm 40 next year, so I've been watching Worthing for a very long time.
Guys, give me 1 sec. Stay there. Give me 1 sec. There's a fly in my face. It's really irritating.
What's he doing? A fly?
And they're all over the place.
I tell you what, if I clip this is going to go viral on Instagram.
Yeah, keep it. He's getting attacked by a fly.
Yeah. I was just saying, man, I've been watching Worthing since I was 13. I'm 40 next year. So genuinely, I've been watching Worthing a really long time. So my literally where I'm sat now is probably about 1.5 miles from the ground. I can walk it in like 15 minutes. So thanks for last season. Thanks for coming on today. And I
appreciate you guys as well. Thank you.
I'm hoping my wife will give me special dispensation on Monday afternoon, and I might if I'm there, mate. If I can get anywhere near the barrier, I'll say hello.
No, of course. Thank you guys anyway. Thank you as well. Really appreciate it.
Raz, did you want to put your blog or YouTube details? Drop them in, and we'll chuck them on here if anyone.
Should I write it down or?
Yeah, write it in the comments, mate.
Type it in the comments or something, and we'll link it in. And if you want some more followers, we'll see what we can get, mate. But
thank you very much.
For anyone that's watched it, I've watched these vlogs, mate. They're fantastic insight into, as you said, a day in the life of a pro footballer. Yeah, it's cool. And
thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on. Like I said, you're probably one of my players that's playing at a higher level that I've coached. I know it was only bit for a few months back in the day when you played for me. I don't think I had hair then either. So for me, mate, it's good to see players of non-league stature that have played under 23s that think it's a waste of time to then go on and end up playing pro football full time. So, hopefully you've been an inspiration to a few lads tonight that want to go on and kick on with their football career.
No, of course. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll catch you all soon. See you later.
For the season, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Before we get going, check in with Crawley Down.
Finished 2-1.
Yes.
Finished 2-1.
And the other one was it Lingfield Walcountians?
Lingfield Walcountians
haven't tweeted.
Neither of Walcountians. I checked that.
Gaz, can we put? He's dropped his Instagram and YouTube stuff in the chat. Can we copy it in here at all? Or
we can get it on
there. There we go. That's anyone who wants to look at his vlogs online. They're very good.
Yeah, he's and there's his YouTube as well.
Yeah, very good. No, like you said, guys, what a great guy, isn't he? Great guy.
Yeah, really nice
Absolutely.
guy. Hopefully, I'll get to see him on Monday. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Right, let's
go on.
We what time is it? 20 to 10. We're doing all right for time. But Grant, do you have the Div 2 results there?
Div 2.
Yeah.
Let me just.
You had one job.
I went to the Prem first, mate. To be honest.
Okay.
I've got them here if you need them.
On Saturday, Alfold played at home against Chichester City B and won and lost 2-0. ASC Brighton Rangers went down 4-0 at home to Bosham. Copthorne went down 6-0 at home to Hurstpier Point. Ferrin and Brighton Electricity shared a 0-0 draw. Southwater won 3-1 at home to Worthing Town. So Worthing Town have shifted 20 goals in 2 games. Storrington lost 6-0 at home to Rustington, and TD Shipley won 3-0 at home to Upper Beeding. The fixtures in that division this weekend are Alfado at home to Rustington, Bosham host Upper Beeding, Chichester City B host Copthorne, Ferrin host Worthing Town.
Big scoreline in that one, Christ.
Yeah. Southwater are at home to ASC Brighton Rangers. Brighton Electricity travel to Storrington, and Rudgwick travel to TD Shipley.
Yeah, I worry for Copthorne this weekend. I think that's going to be. I mean, they're on a -11 goal difference themselves after 2 games. So
yeah.
Well, obviously, getting relegated from last year as well, it's a bit of a spiral for them. As we said before, there's a few clubs.
You do see this sometimes, right, where a club's just in decline and it gets worse and worse. Like Uckfield, for example, right, is another one who is on a similar trajectory. But Rustington right up there. I mean, Chichester City, but I feel like the less said about them, the better. I don't want to say it makes a mockery of the league, but some of the players that they're pulling in have been playing at 1-2 steps above, could probably still play 1 or 2 steps above.
Yeah.
I think they can get relegated, they can get promoted once more. They can go up 1 step. So
I did mention it earlier, guys. I sort of said, didn't I? What's the point?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What is their goal? That those players are never going to play in Chichester's first team. What's the difference in level? 5, 6 steps? I can't remember. But I don't know. I don't know what's.
Dorking Wanderers. What's the end goal for the?
But Dorking Wanderers is different, isn't it? Because it's an academy, right? And they're giving those young academy players men's football, right? Yeah. Some people disagree that even Dorking Wanderers B shouldn't be in the league. But all those players at Dorking Wanderers are academy players, so they're all 16, 17. So they're giving them experience. This year, they're signing, as you said, Gaz, they're signing Step 4 players.
Josh Irish.
And what did he score the other day?
He scored 6, I think. 6? I tell you what, though, Josh Irish is now sponsored by Dugout Diaries. He's been added to the Mike McCaffrey roster, shall we say?
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think already it's becoming pretty obvious. I think a pattern we're going to see across the season. I don't think shipping 20 goals in 2 games is something that you can turn around.
Haven't they gone back to their sort of spiritual home at Copthorne? Because they're obviously not playing at Horsham anymore either. So I think they've gone back to sort of park football.
Yeah, well, I was talking about Worthing Town there, but yeah.
Oh, they're playing at Rothway, are they?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that we're already starting to see which teams are going to be near the bottom, and I think the teams that are near the top are no surprise already. Only 2 games in, obviously, but Rustington, you'd expect them to be right up there. They had a great season last time out, but Hailsham had the slightly better one. TD Shipley as well. I think they could easily be right at the very top, but already goal difference is going to play a big part in this league, I think, as it already is. I mean, plus 19 for just Chichester City B.
Well, it helped them win 16-0 though, didn't it?
I think there's going to be another big scoreline against Copthorne. So plenty of goals being scored in that league. We'll see. Just the 2 games in though, so it could all change, but it just feels like it's already a little bit set in stone for some of those teams. All to play for plenty of teams in the midfield, but I reckon those teams that are at the bottom, Worthing Town, Copthorne, it's a long season ahead.
Yeah, I think, it's going to be one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, Div 1?
Div 1.
You've got
it. I've got them, Div 1, right. So Saturday's results in Div 1. East Preston 2, Dorking Wanderers 2. It was a Guildford City 1, Westfield 1, Hailsham 1, AFC Wolverhampton 2, Infinity 4, Deal Square 1, Jarvis Brook 0, Ringmer 0. That's the old 0-0 that you should have gone to, Gaz, that you said you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Lockswood 3, Selsey 0, and obviously we shouted out to Ian Matthews before, obviously after his heart operation. He sent me a nice message, so I think he's on the mend, which is all good news and a good win for them.
He was at the game last night.
I heard that. Yeah, I didn't know whether he would be, but he was at the game. That's unbelievable, isn't it? So, good luck to him. So then Milo 4, Arundel 1, Oakwood 0, Worthing 7, Saltdean 3, Reigate Priory 2, Shoreham 2, Clanfield 0. That was it for Saturday. So then we've got some Peter Bentley Cup games for this week, which was Tuesday. So we've got Billingshurst 3, Infinity 3, Billingshurst 1-4-2 on penalties, Dorking Wanderers B 2, Forest Row 3, Midhurst and Eastbourne 1, Lockswood 0, AFC Ringmer 2, Eastbourne United 5, Jarvis Brook 1, East Grinstead Town 1, and Jarvis Brook 1-4-3 on penalties. Little Common 3, Hailsham 0, Pagham 2, Selsey 0, Saltdean 2, Lancing 2, with Lancing winning 5-4 on penalties. Wick 2, Arundel 2. Arundel coming out 3-2 penalties. And that was it. So, guys, some strange results in the Peter Bentley Cup and some other results coming in from League One. And obviously, again, we got tonight, we had a cup game tonight, which was obviously, we said before, Guildford City 1, Crawley Down 2 from tonight in the Cup, Peter Bentley Cup.
Yeah.
So, where are we going to start, boys?
Shoreham gets their first win.
Yeah, it's hard to look past it, really, isn't it? I mean, we're very quick to talk about a club when they're not doing well because it's a story worth telling. But I think full credit to them. Clanfield are a decent side, which they've proven already this season. So keeping a clean sheet as well, massive for Shoreham.
Do you know when Shoreham's last 3 points came from? Last win came from?
No.
No,
I don't.
I just gone and had a look back, and unless I've missed something, on the 25th of August 2025, they beat Peacehaven and Telscombe 2-0.
Cool. That was a good result.
I thought last season they won their first 3 games or something when they were.
Yeah, that was the last time.
It?
Yeah, that was when Loz was there. I'm just having a look to make sure I haven't messed it up. But I'm pretty sure
that sounds right.
Yeah.
To be honest, so
full
credit to him. Thoroughly deserved. I think keeping the clean sheet is massive as well because there's been plenty of games where they've scored goals but then just conceded too many. So to really shore things up at the back, I think fair play to them, right? And hopefully they kick on from here. I think this was much needed, and I think we can say that just a few games into the season because it carries over from last season. If you've lost like 20 games in a row or something like that, or you've not won for a whole calendar year, getting a win is massive. It's so important to just get back that winning feeling. And as Grant was saying earlier, you can turn it into a habit. If they win the next match, suddenly it's back to back. You get that mentality. You remember what it feels like to win, and morale does so much, and momentum does so much. So hopefully they build from here because you don't want to see another club a bit like Copthorne, a bit like Uckfield, which is spiraling downwards, right? So absolutely fair play to them.
Yeah.
So did you want me to go through the fixtures for the weekend?
Yes, please.
Obviously, we've got 2, so I'll try and keep it brief because it's obviously this is Saturday, so this is the 29th. So first of all, we've got Arundel at home to Lockswood, Deal Square versus Clanfield, Dorking Wanderers B versus AFC Wolverhampton, Guildford City versus Oakwood, Jarvis Brook versus Infinity, Saltdean East Preston, Selsey versus Reigate Priory, Shoreham versus Hailsham, Westfield versus Miloak, Worthing versus Ringmer. And then on Monday, you've got Wolverhampton against Deal Square, Clanfield, Selsey, East Preston at home to Shoreham, Guildford City, Lockswood, Hailsham v Saltdean, Infinity versus Arundel, Miloak versus Worthing, Oakwood versus Jarvis Brook, Reigate Priory versus Dorking Wanderers B, and Ringmer versus Westfield. That's 2 games in 2 days. And like we said, guys, win those, you can push yourself quite highly up that league.
Absolutely.
Any standout games there for you?
Yeah, there was one, and I can't remember what it was. I remember thinking, "Oh, that'd be a good game." Saltdean East Preston. Saltdean obviously firing. East Preston struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Your
And
favourite?
one that I don't think a lot of people will pick out will be Ringmer versus Westfield.
That's what I genuinely
Yeah.
promised. That's what I was going to bring up. I think that's 2 clubs that could do with getting 3 points on the table. 2 teams that quite a few people have put to be towards the bottom of the table. Obviously, Ringmer picking up a point against Jarvis Brook at the weekend. I was going to go to that game actually, and I'm glad I didn't in the end. It was my plan all along to go and watch that, and I just didn't feel up to it, and I managed to miss out on a 0-0. So yeah, I think that you're dead on with that one. And I think Shoreham and Howsham, that could be a match between 2 quite evenly poised teams. So I think that could be.
I'm going to give you another one that always has a bit of needle in it. Infinity versus Arundel. 2 clubs that aren't particularly fond of each other, I don't think. So
Is that class as a local derby, Gaz?
Not really. It's about 35 minutes between the 2 clubs, maybe 40. But then there's club like Arundel, East Preston's closer.
Yeah, I suppose.
But then they've already played each other once this year already.
So one team that I wanted to speak about that I've been very surprised by, and sadly not in a good way, is Reigate Priory. I had them to be promoted through the playoffs, and they're dead last. I thought they recruited well. They've got, Dale's a great manager. I'm not too sure what's got. I mean, they've played Infinity, right? So, maybe that one's a bit of a write-off. They've played against Guildford, who we're seeing quite mixed things from. Saltdean away. They've got Selsey, then Dorking Wanderers B. I think it's a very, very important few days coming up for Reigate. I think expectations internally would not have been to be bottom of the league 3 games in.
No, I don't actually think they. I saw them play a couple of weeks ago against Infinity.
Yeah.
Look, they weren't horrendous. They didn't look like a team that are bottom of the league. They looked like a team that's struggling for form. Look like a team that obviously aren't playing at home. And yes, they're used to not playing at home and ground sharing. But at some point, it's going to get the better of you. Look at Copthorne, for example. They've never been particularly great, but they've never played at home, right? So I just think, I'll shout out Dale. He does a good job, and he's a very good manager. But at the end of the day,
they recruited well. They did lose a hell of a lot of players at the end of the season. I think he lost 5 or 6 of his starting 11 of his best players, centre forward, and do you know what I mean? So that's when we know, and it's very commonly known that they don't have a budget, that they don't pay players. Easy for me to say.
players.
Exactly, thanks, mate. And believe it or not, that is green tea tonight, as always, mate. That's not anything else. So, but look,
coffee down, yeah.
I have messaged Dale, like I said, and we have liaised. He did say it's going to be a challenging season for him. He did say that, but I don't think he thinks they'll be down the bottom come the end of the season. Like we said, give it a few games. Some of the guys only played 3 games. Do you know what I mean? Some of them. So I don't think he'll be panicking. But is it a place where he want to be? No, it's not. But I do think they've got enough to get out of it.
Yeah, look, I think, and I think I said it. The goalkeeper Andy Greaves leaving Oakwood and going there, he will keep goals from going in. He will make saves. He was one of the reasons that I put Oakwood sort of in the bottom 2, losing a player like that when they've had probably as many man of the matches. And you look at Oakwood at the weekend, they shipped 7.
7, yeah.
So
he's a great keeper.
Yeah,
great keeper.
And I think a shout out needs to go to AFC Walcountians. 3 wins from 3. They've played teams that maybe aren't having the best starts of the season, Oakwood, Jarvis Brook, but you still got to win the games. So shout out to them. Maybe overperforming a bit versus expectations ahead of Infinity right now, who we obviously all put top. So cracking starts of the season for them. Guildford up in 3rd, a little bit of an unknown. Arundel in fourth, but they have played one more. Worthing, to be fair, have only played 2 and won 2 as well, so they could potentially go top with their games in hand. So yeah, all to play for. I think there'll be a couple of teams that will just be very keen to get the first win on the board. Obviously, we spoke to Raf last week. They've got a point on the board since then, but I think they'll be keen to turn that into 3
But
next
just
time.
they had a cracking result last night, though.
Yeah, well, look, their cup success
Done wonders.
That emphatic win against East Preston and then knocking out East Grinstead last night. They're having a good time in the cup. I think he'll be very keen to translate that into league form as well.
That could give them some sort of like little boost that we've beat.
Definitely.
We've beat the team that are spending a lot of money. And regardless, I'm telling you now, I saw a clip, right, that said it was an under-18s team. There was definitely there was probably 4 under-18s in that team. The rest, I would say, are first-team players.
Sniffing in and around at the very least.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, yeah. So
you can say nothing to take away from that Jarvis Brook performance, and I think it would be doing them a disservice to try and say that it's an under-18s team. It's not. It might not be quite full strength. It's still a bloody strong team. So yeah, it's a very even near the top as we expected, and remains to be a very exciting league. Westfield up in 9th, maybe overperforming some expectations. Dial Square had a rough couple of weeks, but still very, very long season to go. So
yeah, 100%. Right, let's move on to
the Prem.
County Prem.
County Prem.
Prem.
Well, obviously, last week, obviously, we had league fixtures on the Saturday and FA Cup. So what do you want me to do first, Gaz? The FA Cup or the league?
Let's go FA Cup.
Let's go FA Cup. Let's go FA Cup then for our teams. And again, obviously, we've just said that East Grinstead lost, but obviously, the first score was Bognor Regis Town 1, East Grinstead 2. Pagham 2, Balham 0, Sutton Common Rovers 1, Haywards Heath 1, Westfield 1, Hassocks 1, and then Whitstable Town 5, New Haven 0. So that was the FA Cup games from Saturday. So the replays were played yesterday. Hassocks lost 3-0 at home to Westfield. Haywards Heath beat Sutton Common Rovers 2-1. I think they scored the last minute again.
I think they scored both of them in the last.
Both of them, it was like 89th and 90th minute, wasn't it? Yeah.
Someone else.
Yeah. So then Midhurst and Eastbourne 1, Croydon Athletic 3. So that was the FA Cup game.
That was on Sunday. That wasn't a replay. That was on Sunday.
That was Sunday. Sorry, take it back. Absolutely right. So then, we got Saturday's Premier League results. So Billingshurst 2, Eastbourne United 4, Crawley Down Gatwick 4, Forest Road 2, which is a game that I was at. Horsham YM 1, Lancing 3, Roffey 0, Guernsey 1, Seaford Town 2, Bexhill United 3.
That was Peter Bentley, that one.
Oh, sorry, that was Peter Bentley Cup. You're absolutely right. Sorry, apologies. So So that was the Premier games, and I was going to go on to the Peter Bentley Cup one now. So that was your result was Saturday, and then the rest of these results were Tuesday's results. So Billingshurst. Oh, have I done these? No, I haven't. Have I? Billingshurst 3, Infinity 3. Billingshurst winning 4-2 on penalties. Dorking Wanderers 2, Forest Road 3. Midhurst and Eastbourne 1, Loxwood 0. New Haven 4, AFC Vardinians 1. Ringmer 2, Eastbourne United 5. Horsham YM 0, Roffey 3. Jarvis Brook 1, East Grinstead 1. We have done that one on penalties. We've already done that. Have I done the rest of them? Sorry. Pagham 2, Selby 0, Saltdean 2, Lancing 2, Wick 2, Arundel 2 on penalty, Falling 3-2 on penalties. Yeah, I think I've done them. Sorry, guys. Getting a bit confused.
Yeah, I think we got them from Div 1, didn't we? A little common versus Hampshire.
Yeah, we did. So, guys, any standout performers there?
Definitely. For me, the team at the moment that I'm most impressed by, and I think people need to be worrying about winning this league, is actually Guernsey. They've turned their away form around to go to Roffey and win. You know, obviously it was their home form last season, which was so good, and I wouldn't expect that to change this season. But if they can keep their away form, so they've gone to East Grinstead and won. They've gone to Crawley Down and got a draw. which a really hard fought draw as well. A lot of grit and character shown in that one. They've gone away to Roffin and won. I think if they keep up that sort of away form and they keep up the home form we expect them to have, I don't see how anyone beats them in this league, to be honest. You know, they're going to pick up a lot of points at home probably, and they've already picked up 7 points out of 9 from their away fixtures so far.
I think it's still early in the season. We saw it last year. I think they tail off towards the travel. Eventually, will catch up with them. And it doesn't matter if you say they're used to it or whatever, but I think the travel will get the better of them, as like it did last year in the end.
But I think even now, going to this Roffy side and getting a win, you know, really impressive stuff. So, definitely
on that, Matt. Yeah, weren't they? Roffrey were a lot of people's dark horses this year.
Definitely, and they started the season in amazing form. Did Roffy, and it's still very early on, so you can't really say they've trailed off. But I think, you know, Roffy would be disappointed with that. Eastbourne United, top of the league, though. They've had some big scorelines in there as well. They've scored 15 goals in 5 games, so not too bad.
Unusually, they've started well, which they don't normally do.
Yes, well.
That was exactly my predictions at the start of the season. I said if they can start on fire, because they normally wait and sign a lot of players come sort of September, October time, they've absolutely flying out of trap. So, yeah, I've been very impressed with him. And yes. I think one of the big standout performances out of that FA Cup was East Grinstead beating Bognor Regis 2-1, last minute goal, taking them through to the next round where they got a away tie to Dulwich Hamlet. So that's a big game for them. But, you know, hats off and credit where it's due. Going anywhere in an FA Cup game and beating a team in a league above. And obviously we spoke about Bognor Regis earlier. You know, I think they're now 3rd or 4th in their league. So
they're up there, aren't they? Hold on, I actually got that somewhere, I think.
Yeah, so obviously, and obviously East Grinstead were 1-0 down in that game. So coming back from 1-0 down away to a team in a league above and winning 2-1, I think, you know, hats off to them. You know, obviously they won the week before in the league. They won that one, and obviously they bumped down to earth last night with a loss to Jarvisbrook in the league below. So that's where I think sometimes the inconsistency, you can go away and win it to a team above and then away to a team below and then lose. It's a bit, that's where the balance comes in, doesn't it? You've got to try and even that out. And like, they did have a few changes, guys, in their squad from yesterday, but it wasn't an under-18 squad. But we'll see. But look, we have to give credit where it's due, don't we? You know, we've dug them out a bit before, and, you know, credit where it's due, they've won. So,
yeah,
I think a team that got a very important 3 points in all of that was Lancing. Taking on YM at a very fortunate time for Lancing. I predict it being a tricky season for Lancing, so I think that's a really important 3 points. Their first points of the season, you know, takes them up to 17th. So, yeah, I think.
But they actually got two. They actually got 2 wins in a row.
Yes, I don't know when the last time they had that was.
Yeah, so
I get it was against Saltdean, but look, Saltdean will be up there.
Many players in front of you.
Yeah, and it was a penalty shootout, but 2 wins in a row is
the mentality stuff. How, you know, they build on that. Who have they got coming up? Let's have a look. So they have got Eastbourne United, and then Midhurst. So two tricky games for Lancing. But anything's possible. You know, you can be buoyed by that. But a team that isn't doing so well. And is it time to hit the panic buttons? Forest Row, a team.
Well, I was just going to mention them because obviously I was at the game Saturday, so I watched.
Talk to us about the game. How? Yeah.
Like I said, I think I said in the intro, but, you know, Forest Row went 1-0 up after 3-4 minutes. Very good goal, deservedly went ahead. Then they went 2-0 up halfway through the half with dominating play. Should have gone in at half time. Could have been 3 or 4-0 up. They played that well and Crawley down. Considering I watched them against Guernsey on the Tuesday night, it was like chalk and cheese. That game, they were brilliant. They were excellent. On Saturday for the first half, they were terrible. They couldn't string 2 passes together. They looked very disjointed. They did make a lot of changes from the Guernsey game. So Forest Road deservedly went in 2-0 up at half time. Like I say, should have been 3 or 4. And obviously, Martin, the gaffer at Crawley Down, obviously let rip with them because they came out a totally different team in the second half. Quickly got it back to 2-1. As soon as they scored that goal, went 2-1, you could almost see the confidence and the life sort of drain out of Forest Road, because I know they haven't won. I think their last win was January, which is obviously a long time. And it looked like the players, here we go again. And so bang, they Crawley Down scored. Bang, they went another goal, so it went 2-2. Then Ian Nichols, the Forest Row manager, got sent off from the dugout. Obviously, I was over the other side of the pitch. I don't know what happened or what was said or something, but I think he said something to a fourth official. I don't know. So he got sent off, which led to a bit of a melee. They then made a substitute. A guy come on the pitch. 2 minutes later, he gets sent off for a horrendous tackle. It was probably 2 red cards. It was horrendous. But the point is they lost their discipline very quickly. You know, they Crawley Down got it back to 2-2. Ian Nichols, the gaffer, got sent off. Substitutes get sent off, and then Crawley Down go and score another 2 goals. I think they scored 4 goals in 20 minutes or something. Crawley Down. And I think that's sort of been a little bit the story of sort of Forest Row's season at the moment. They look good for stages and are dominant in a game and just can't see it out. I think it's a confidence thing for them. Really, they just really need to get that first win. And I know they had the win in the Peter Bentley Cup, and it was to a team in the league below them. But hopefully that will give them a bit more confidence. But hats off to Crawley Down Gatwick. Like I said, they were brilliant against Guernsey. For the first 45 minutes against Forest Row, they were terrible. And in the second 45 minutes, they were brilliant again. So for me, they've got to make sure that they've got that consistency right. You know, there's no point in getting. I've always said it to players about game time, especially younger players. There's no point in getting 8 out of 10, then 2 out of 10, then 9 out of 10, then 1 out of 10, then 7 out of 10. That, you know, that's the same. You know, you want to do well in the league. If you're doing that in your performances, you're going to struggle. It's where you get 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out. That's when you start hitting that form and you're doing really, really well. And that's, for me, is the aim for Crawley Down Gatwick. Is they've got to sort of try and get a consistent level where they're at it all the time. And I know that's very difficult, like I said, when you've played Saturday, Tuesday. But hats off to them. You know, they were 2-0 down at half time and should have been a lot more, and they won. Yeah, really, really, really pleasing for them, but a little bit worrying, I think, for Forest Row with regard to confidence. I think at the moment, and I think they just need a bit of the rub of the green. Or again, I think I said before, where you need a goal, a scrappy, horrible game, and a scrappy goal where it hits the back of someone's head or their arse and goes in, and you win 1-0. And I think at the moment they'll take that. And so that was it.
They've got Pagham next up, and then on Monday, East Grinstead.
Yeah, I know they're East Grinstead game. I
think that'll be a good game for a lot of reasons.
Sorry?
Are you going to that?
I'm not, mate. No, I'm working Monday. Bloody pain in the arse, innit? Fucking typical, innit? So, yeah, I'm not going Monday, I'm afraid. I tried to get out.
Some strange hours, didn't you?
I do, mate. I do, absolutely. That's a job we got to do, mate, to put food on the table, I'm afraid. So
I work for a bank and I'm working Monday on a bank holiday, so go figure that one out.
There you go, mate. There we go. So there we go.
So yeah, I think you can't help but be a little bit worried for him. But you know, again, it's very early in the season, right? There's other clubs that I think are going to struggle as well. Obviously, you've got Billingshurst, who are also on 1 point, who have had a tough start to life up here. But they do play Little Common next. Billingshurst, obviously, that's must win for both teams, right? So I think that could end up maybe being quite a game that might go under the radar, but could be quite good. 2 teams that will be absolutely desperate to get some more points on the table. Who else? Hassocks down in 9th. Played 3 games, so 1 less than a few of those around them, but they'll probably be a little bit disappointed with some of that.
And then obviously they've got a big game Saturday, haven't they? Because they're away to East Grinstead. So 2 of the teams that got relegated that a lot of us have had up for the top of the league. So that'd be a massive game.
Oh,
just quickly.
I've
been messaging around trying to get the result from Lingfield versus Woolcountians. It was 2-2. Lingfield won on penalties. Woolcountians goalkeeper was sent off in injury time. I won't read the rest of the message, but that was the long and short of it.
Fair enough.
We certainly have opinions on the sending off, but yeah, we'll leave it there. So there you go, Lingfield through. Maybe what you might have expected, although Woolcountians obviously are in fine form, so I think that shows why it went to pens in the first place. 2 teams, quite evenly matched. But yeah, any other teams that stand out for us right now? Obviously New Haven up there in 5th. I think I had them as my dark horse. So they're continuing to perform well. Vardinians obviously up there. I don't think they've played in the league since last week. They had a tough time in the cup against New Haven, but they could be joint on points with Eastbourne and Guernsey if they win their game in hand. So what a start to the season they are having for sure. It's tricky because there's some teams that have played 5, some 4, some 3. So
It'll level out.
Still needs to shake out a little bit.
That's down to cup. That's down to cup runs, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got Peter Bentley, FA Cup replays, all sorts of stuff, mate. So yeah,
I think that's another reason why end of September we might have a bit of a better idea. Things might have shaken out a little bit there.
Do you want to go straight into the fixtures then, Gaz, for the weekend?
Yeah, if you could, mate, and then we'll.
So these are the fixtures for the County Prem. So we got 2 games on Friday night. We got Bexhill versus Rothie, which is played at Little Common Rovers' ground. And then we got Seaford versus Wick, which is played at New Haven's ground. So then on Saturday the 29th, so an earlier kickoff, 1:30 kickoff, we got Guernsey against Midhurst. Then 3 o'clock kickoffs, we've got Billingshurst versus Little Common, Crawley Down Gatwidge versus Vardinians, East Grinstead Town versus Hassocks, Forest Row versus Pagham, Haywards Heath versus Lingfield, Lancing versus Eastbourne United, New Haven versus Horsham YM. Then on Monday in the bank holiday, these are all 11 o'clock kickoffs. Vardinians against Hassocks, Billingshurst at home to Crawley Down, East Grinstead versus Forest Row, which you've already mentioned, Eastbourne United versus Bexhill United, Little Common against Seaford Town, Midhurst and Eastbourne versus Lancing, New Haven versus Haywards Heath, Pagham versus Wick, Rothie versus Horsham YM. That's it. So, yeah, some games on there. I think standout ones, especially for Saturday for me, would be East Grinstead against Hassocks. As I said, 2 teams that got relegated out of the Isthmian League last year. Both of them not flying at the top of the league yet. So it'll be a big 6-pointer that, I think.
Sorry, you missed off Lingfield playing Guernsey next Tuesday night. 8 o'clock kickoff.
I did the Monday one, Tuesday. Sorry, you're correct, Gaz, as always.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I told you, mate, I've been in this game a long time.
You have. That's Tuesday. That's like 8 o'clock kickoff, mate. That one.
Yeah.
All good. So yeah.
Anything that sticks out for you?
As I said, just that East Grinstead Hassocks game really on the Saturday. But again, Monday's always good bank holiday. A lot of local derbies in there, isn't there? Look at them. New Haven, Haywards Heath. Yeah, that'd be a big game. That.
It's a really big weekend for Little Common. They've got Billingshurst and Seaford, right? You've had a really poor start to the season. This is an amazing chance to end the weekend, the bank holiday weekend, with 6 points and be right in and around it against 2 teams that, a few people have predicted to struggle. So I think of all the clubs, Little Common have got perhaps the most important weekend. I like the idea of Eastbourne versus Bexhill on the bank holiday Monday. I think that could be quite a good game. A lot of goals in that one, I reckon.
It'll be a test, though, won't it, of people's squads? That's all I'm saying. Is like say two games in 3 days. Horrible, bobbly, hard pitches still. But I think we're aimed for forecast a bit of storm weather tonight. I think so. Let's hope.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a bit of rain over the next few days.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few groundsmen with the old prayer mats out, going out, praying to the gods for some rain. But
it's raining the weekend.
Is it? Yeah, I thought
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, but normally it's like 5% or something crap like that, but they put rain down. It's just annoying that. But look, it's well and truly good. But I say 2 games in 3 days, rock hard pitches. It's demanding on your body, I can assure you. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes and rotations around and things like that. But we've said it before, guys. If teams can pick up 6 points, all of a sudden you're bottom half of the league to sort of in the playoffs, and it's mid-table up into the top 3 or 4. It's an interesting time, the old bank holiday weekend, and one as a player and a manager I always look forward to. I'm sure the missus didn't, because I was never at home. We was always out doing football. But there we go. That's life, isn't it?
So before we finish, Gaz, did you want to talk about your fundraiser?
Oh yeah.
Will we sign off for the night?
For some people, right, this won't sound like a lot, but next month I've committed to running 50 kilometres through the month of September. Works out about a mile a day, 1.5 kilometres a day, if I do it every day. But obviously, I'm a overweight chap, shall we say. So doing it every day might not necessarily be practical. So, yeah.
And also with a young family, it's not practical, Gaz, either.
No, and a full-time job.
Yeah.
Luckily, I chose a good month for it because I've got nothing with a coffee trader next month. So I've got a bit of time. I'm going away for a weekend with my daughter and my mum, and me and my wife are going away next weekend. So I'm try and do it. But on top of that, I also broke my toe a few weeks ago, and it's still absolutely killing me.
Nice.
So
Gaz, is this does it have to be road runs or can it be treadmill? How does it get logged?
You can do both. I'm gonna probably.
Right.
I normally do about just over a kilometre on the treadmill anyway after I finish the weight session in the morning.
Right.
So I will aim to do that, and then my other aim is to do the couch to 5K 4 times a week.
Right.
Which will probably be about 3.5, 4K per run. I'm hoping that just doing a kilometre in the morning and then doing that in the evening, I might be able to get it done within sort of 3 or 4 weeks and see how much I can see how far I can run on top of the 50K. But we'll see. Look, people run. I was doing an event with my day job at the weekend, and someone ran 50K and just on Sunday morning. So
What?
yeah, it was and it was a trail as well. So it was over the downs, like Chanctonbury Ring,
Who was
Sisbury
that?
Ring.
Mo Farah?
No,
Jesus.
there was it's called the Sussex Trot, I think it's called.
I couldn't drive 50 kilometres, I assure you, let alone fucking run it.
Yeah, as a business, we sponsor it. So we turned up and there's a 5K, a 10K, a full marathon, and an ultra marathon.
Wow.
On Sunday morning. So look, I'm gonna give it my best. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna go out, even with the broken toe. I'm gonna try and get out. And the other part of that is my wife's in New York for a week. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna fit in while she's away. So I'm gonna really have to nail it down and hope that my mum can watch my daughter while I'm out running.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything about the cause, or did you?
I'm doing it for Sands. I know locally we did it before your time, but we did a bit of work with Sands United, who is now Baby Loss United. Me and my wife suffered before our beautiful daughter came along 7 miscarriages, which takes its toll on anyone. So it's a charity that means a lot to us. Sands is sort of infant and neonatal deaths. So yeah, look. I will go out. I've already raised 140, 150. The target initially was 185. I've now upped that to 500 quid. I'm sure we'll do something. We've obviously got a live event coming up as well. So I'll try and raise a bit of money on that night as well. Just see how I get on. I don't do running. I really don't do running. I'm hoping that I got a friend of mine who plays a lot of like charity football on a weekend, and I've refereed for them a couple of 11-a-side games, and I did about 7.5, 8K when I did that. So I'm hoping I can get one of them and Strava it.
That's hard work though, Gaz. When you got a broken toe, doing 7 or 8K, doing any running.
I did it with a broken rib last time.
Wow, bloody hell!
Well, I didn't play football for 8 years. I was always a goalkeeper. Played my first game back in March after 8 years and broke my rib. I'd love to say it was completely accidental, but it involved my brother who was on the opposite team. So I'm guessing. I played 75 minutes though.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah. That's what these players are moaning about on a Saturday and Sunday.
But where have you got anywhere where people can donate?
Yeah, I'll share it out. I have put it out on my social media, but I will try and share it out through the X account, through the Instagram account. The Instagram account, we hit 100,000 views in the last 30 days this morning.
Yeah.
It has taken up far too much of my time. But now I've hit 100K views, I want to try and keep it at 100,000 views a month.
Yeah.
So keep interacting, keep talking to us, keep sending us your stuff. On a Saturday and a Tuesday, right, I genuinely, providing you send it to me, I'll share it. If you don't, then there's a likelihood is I'm going to miss it. Just so
teams to tag you in then.
Yeah, that's a nice message there from Dial Square. Gareth, great charity cause. Please send me your link and I'll sponsor you.
Bless you.
That's from Andy at Dial Square. So thanks, Andy. Really appreciate that. I will send the link shortly.
And when we put it out, guys, we'll all share it. So if any of you guys listening, if you could also share it as well, and if you can, any little bit helps, mate. Even a couple of quid, all that goes towards a great cause, guys. And obviously, Gary's working his bollocks. Someone that don't run, someone that don't want to run, someone that doesn't like running.
I've started doing a little bit in the gym in the morning after like the weights. Like,
yeah,
I've started doing like the last sort of 10, 15 minutes tends to be just like intermittent running, running for 2 or 3 minutes, walking for 30 seconds and so on. So I'm hoping that I can get better at that, which will make the road running where I'm doing a little bit more, a little bit easier. But look, I'm a 20 stone guy. I'm not built for running, right? But just a bit of perspective, I was once a 35 stone guy. So just to give you an idea of where we're at, I'd never have done this 4 or 5 years ago. So
hats off to you, mate. That's an unbelievable achievement, mate.
Yeah.
Very, very
all
good.
that while doing burger reviews, eh?
Yeah. You should be doing Ryvita reviews or rice cake reviews.
I don't do Ryvita, mate. Burgers, all protein apart from the bun.
Yeah, excellent.
Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. Where are you guys off to this weekend? You're working, aren't you, Grant?
Yeah, I'm working Saturday and Monday. Crap, innit? I did want to say something. Sorry, before. I think Mike put it on the link earlier this week that obviously everything's now been uploaded to Spotify and the App Store. So I think all the previous episodes and everything have now been uploaded, guys. So I know there's been a few comments about people struggling to view it, struggling to get on, having a look, guys. They're all on Spotify now, and they're all on the App Store and the podcasts app on Apple. So get all your fixes there now, mate. So if people are not finding them there, drop us a note and we'll point you in the right direction. But they're all up there, I believe. Mike messaged the other day saying they've all been uploaded.
Perfect. Matt, where are you off to this weekend?
I haven't decided yet.
I'll put a poll up.
Playing at home, but I might try and get further afield this time. I know. But it's in the FA Trophy, and I'd love a cup game. I really love a cup game. So we'll see. Because I'm definitely going to go to their FA Cup game the next weekend. So I'm going to try to get further afield this time, but I haven't. I was eyeing up Arundel, actually. But yeah, I'm not sure. There are options.
If the weather, you got to do Arundel when the weather's nice.
Yeah, well, that's just it. The whole reason I wanted to go there is, it's just a nice picturesque place to go anyway, right? So yeah, if it's going to be pissing it down with rain, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite grounds, Arundel. It's so beautiful. It's picturesque. It's an absolutely stunning ground. I think it's one of my favourite grounds in Sussex, mate, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's a few like that though. I mean,
yeah, it's lovely. But it's got to be nice when it's raining and wet and the pitch is shit. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just because it's so boggy, it's next to a river. It's floods, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on a floodplain.
Yeah, can't do anything about it.
Cool.
There we go. It's just a little message there. Pudrig, Kilkenny. Guildford's pitch is terrible. Was that the game tonight?
I did see a picture. Someone posted one online this week, mate. It's probably the worst picture I've seen. It's awful. It's so unbelievably bad.
Did anyone see the picture that Naz posted of Horsham YM's pitch last night?
No.
See the video? I don't know whether I've got it on here. I might.
Like I just said, there'd be groundsmen up and down the country praying for this bloody thunderstorm and rain tonight and the next 4 days. Desperately.
Yeah.
They desperately need it.
Yeah. Just quickly before we go, I'm probably going to get in trouble for not doing this. But if you are a club that sells water at your games, this is for you.
Support your local club, lads. Buy a can of Dugout 90, because watching this lot for 90 minutes is thirsty work. Hydration for the full 90.
There we go.
Got it in. Well done, son.
I'd have been in trouble otherwise. Look, thanks for joining us. We will be back next week with a guest confirmed before we come online. But
We did
thanks
try,
so-
though. It wasn't our fault
Yeah.
this time. We did try.
Thank you so much for Raz for coming on. I really appreciate it, and apologies for saying that you gave me a semi at the end of last season. We will be back next week. Don't forget, get in contact. We're going live in person on the 23rd of September at the Bacchus Bar in Lancing. Quite easy, 5-minute walk from the train station. Do steins of beer, and just come and see us. Come and say hello. We'll have a great laugh. We'll be raising money for a charity as well on the day.
Yeah, all good.
So we haven't even started planning it yet, so we'll go for there.
No problem.
Right, thanks, guys. We
guys.
will
Thanks for
see
watching,
you
everyone.
soon. Cheers.
See you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.